Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the April Mastermind group. It is such an honor and a blessing to do this for you guys. I appreciate you guys so much, all of you guys, for being in here. Thank you for trusting me with this information and helping me help you to get to the better place in your life. This thing that we do here with numbers, we're not kidding. This is not a joke. This isn't some sort of weird trick. This is like the undercurrent of every single thing that exists in five senses. Like you can measure it inside of numerology, whether it be your birthday, which is where we like to start, your name, which is where we like to go next, when we are, like the current date that we're in, how about and then all the peripherals, everything within arm's reach. I got my car keys, my wallet, my bank cards, my phone, my emails, my Instagram, my Snapchat, my this and that. There is so many different places to show up. And that some people are only going to call you, a nickname of yours, or some people are going to only call you your full name. You'd be like, oh crap, I'm in trouble. And so there's different places for us to show up for different purposes. Like if I'm having let's say I got caught speeding. Okay. I used to get caught speeding all the time. And this feeling is because I used to drive really stupid and fast when I was younger. Funny how that was inside of my numerology. And then the cop would look at my name and that, right? And I've known this vibration my whole life. This is what I was born as. Some of you guys may have taken a name out of marriage. Some of you guys may have moved back out of your marriage name after the relationship is over. And so there are different places. Like I remember, I think it was Francesca's chart when I got like a laundry list of names. You were born as one, then you got one through adoption, then you got one through marriage, then you got another one now. And it's like, this is so cool. When we do a group session, we're going to take a look at a few of them specifically. For some of you, actually for Lori and Marilyn, you guys have already worked with me. So the rest of these guys or the rest of you ladies are going to see, what it looks like to have a conversation, because I'm not going to say the same thing to Lori that I said to her when we were working privately together. I'm going to give that to Donna. I'm going to give that to Francesca. I'm going to give that to Jamie, because you guys are like, well, I want to know. I want my name. I want to know what the value in it is. Like I'd like to have my stuff move over so I can get into that place that everybody's all talking about, that stuff. I want to get that vibration high. And then, when we look at Marilyn's name, or we're going to look at Lori's name, I do want to take a peek. I at least want to see, because it's been some time since we worked together. So how's it been? How's it been working? How's it been working out for you? And, what's sometimes people take a name and that's it. And sometimes they take a name and then they're going to take another name, like later on. And then there are some people who are like, well, I'm going to take this one for my Tinder, and for this one for my social media. I'm going to take this one for my, my business. And that's okay too. I mean, I'm the kind of guy who, when I go shopping for a shirt, I'm like, yeah, right. I come out with like a set of pants and a pair of shoes, and I'm like, I need something to go with my shirt. So I feel like I don't want to just put us into one outfit and that's it. And you guys deserve to be able to have the flexibility to decide for yourselves. This is your life. I'm not going to tell you how to live it, but I will give you some insights on what may or may not feel right. But there is that gut intuition, that thing inside of your stomach that's like, and it goes off at the best times, especially when we don't listen. But when we do listen and we're in tune with ourselves, we're like, I had a feeling about this, or I just wanted to stay with it, or like, I didn't really vibe with that. If it vibes with you and you're feeling okay and comfortable, then for sure take it everywhere. Like right now, I'm dealing with the reality that I cannot take my name everywhere, because as soon as I put www.com on it, it's like it messes it all up. And I'm like, shoot, okay, well, I'm branding, so that's my specific conversation. Like we've got Marilyn's got Peace Rec Clothing Ltd. So she's not gonna go to a party and say, hi, my name is Peace Rec Clothing Ltd. Nice to meet you. But if she talks to the government, that's who they want to talk to. They don't want to talk to Marilyn Hall. They want to talk to the board of directors of the company. They want to talk to the people who are in charge. And that feeling is like, sure, well, that's still me, but they want to recognize the legal entity underneath that. So and there's another one there, Success with Francesca, or Anthivaria Tribe. So there's a bunch of these different sort of like extensions of who you are in a certain direction. Do they work for business? Do they work for your purpose? This is what we want to target for you guys. And if we're doing this for the first time, if we're doing this for the second or third time now, like to you guys, then we're going to be looking at where are you in the chart, where are you now, and we're going to have a slightly different conversation. And it was really cool because I'm used to doing sessions. I've done sessions smaller than this, and I've done sessions larger than this. The larger the session, the more into the 4 hours that I go. I'm like, okay, there's a lot of people to take care of. But when we're a smaller, tighter group, we get more individual attention. We gotta love that. We get a chance to go a little bit deeper and a little bit further into your story. And this is going to be a bit unique because I have clients of mine, and also some of you guys are seeing me for the first time. So I hope you guys find so much freaking value here that it just like stuns you. There will be a replay, so I will provide that just in case you're feeling like this is information overload and I don't know what to do with all this right now. You're going to hear what you need to. You're going to get what you need to. I'm going to start speaking to your super conscious, like the thing that's overarching your spiritual connection, the deeper session, the deeper part of you. That's like your soul guides are like all huddled up around the little cloudy, the clearing in the clouds around you, and they're like, I want to see this. Is he going to get this? I want to know. And I like that feeling, right? Because today, show of hands, who's in North America? Okay, so 1, 2, 3 of us, yeah. Okay, 3 of us, yeah. And then so Donna and Francesca are down south. So okay, this is an interesting concept that we're in 2 different places at the same time. So up top, okay, in North America, or down below wherever in comparison to where you guys are. Okay, we're at the bottom of the. Never mind. The reality is that inside of Canada, U.S., if you're on the Western Hemisphere, the top side of it, the day adds up to 5. This is a day for a fight. So we're going to not fight each other, but we're going to fight for your success. We're going to fight for your journey. We're going to fight for the truth. The 5 number shows up as an active feeling. Bali, cool. So it's still the 6th for you in Bali. Is that correct, Donna? Like, are you guys, or no, sorry. It's the 27th. See, when I add it all together, it equals out to 6. So that's what I'm thinking in my head, right? But the reality is, okay, fine. So if you're in that side of the world, you're going to be experiencing a 6 day. And when we're looking at a 5 day, just to be where I'm at, I'm the one delivering this information. I'm going to be speaking up for the things that are not getting the chance to get a voice. And you guys were really courageous. Anybody notice a theme? I got to get my shit together. How come I got to balance all this stuff happening in my life? I got all this stuff. I haven't got anything done. And it's like we're just rushing. So this is a catch-up day for me. This is a day for me to actually go and say, no man left behind, no woman left behind. And this is what I do is at the end of every month, because I do group sessions all month long. But then there was like, are you going to do another one? Are you going to do another one? Are you gonna do? I'm like, all right. So at the end of every month, I'm going to do one, okay? And because you guys have been here once, you guys get to come back if you guys want to see the experience again as a fly on the wall. Just let me know. I'm also going to invite you guys to my private mastermind if you're not in there already. It's a superhero tribe of all of my clients. I want to keep a hold of you guys. This is like my list, my email list, if you will. But I know what's going to happen over the next year, the next 2 years, the next 5 years. Y'all going to grow. There's going to be an upgrade in your vibe. You're not going to be the same person you used to be. The same crap that's been bugging you and holding you down, when we put the right freaking letter, like it's all about this little tiny thing, it suddenly has this effect to change the lane that you're in and to give you the VIP pass, the magnetism that you need. But as good as any car is as good as a driver. We're still going to need to do things like, events and reading the books and doing the journaling and, coming out with the content and going to the masterminds and doing things like this and hiring coaches. And that's where I'd like to show up, is someone who wants to build a relationship with your success and absolutely help you along the way. So we're going to talk about a couple of levels in this, and some of you guys may be here just out of the journey of your soul. Okay, like I look at your guys' numbers, and I'm like, okay, so there's some powerful energy here. Okay, like this isn't just like, oh, cool, like I'm going to do life. These are souls that are like, I'm here to do something big. I'm going to be super powerful. I know it. I'm just trying to deal with this human condition. Like, how do I get that thing handled? Because I'm a spiritual super being, but then fitting into a human body is like one of the most difficult things ever. And so, we're not, I'd like to call the blessing in disguise. Like, let's say Francesca's chart. She's got like 7 different names that she's held, and like, you know, a bunch of these different versions have showed up for you. The feeling in there is to think that you will be so, it's like such a spiritual energy that you're going to have to take a bunch of names to recognize that you don't identify with any one thing, and that you're more of a universal conduit. So when I saw that, I was like, that kind of makes sense. That's kind of what I'm thinking. And so we're going to take a look at, you know, how powerful do you really want to go? What do you really actually want to do? And that brings in that fear of being like, well, I've made an identity based on being held back. So if I'm not held back now, then I'm not going to have this crutch anymore, and that's my safety, and now I'm going to get hurt again. And you can do this in success. We do this in love all the time. We do this with our mommy daddy issues. We do this with our exes. This is like the human feel. The brain is very like, you know, it's that part of you that's like, I don't trust this. I'm skeptic because I've never seen this before. And some of us spend like, I brag that I have my head on a leash. My heart's just like, get him, boy. The brain just like starts to attack, but the heart's really the one in control, because that's where we get that strong intuition, that feeling of like, the emotion drives us and the logics define us, right? So we have these different centers, and then there's this third center, and this is like an ancient one that's like some cultures speak about this, that happens like inside of this midsection where there's your diaphragm, the place where the soul enters. Women know this because you bring babies through here. We process food through here. We accept sexual energy through here. This is what grounds us, our grounding chakra. So this is like a really big power plant for spiritual brain. And so we have this other part of this, our gut instinct, the feeling that shows up inside of this. And I was like doing more and more research on this, and I've already preached this before. I booked in a hydrocolonics because I'm like, I need to get this stuff out and clean this stuff out, because I know what's on the line. I know exactly how much more clear I need to get at my own next level. I want to take it to the next level for you guys as well, because what's going to happen when y'all become millionaires and like you're like, well, Bobby was at the level of helping a brand new person strike a fire. I want to get into the place where I'm like, well, we build in infernos. Like, we're actually helping global organizations become really big. So if you don't want to go that far, I'd like to think, well, that's fine. Get comfortable somewhere where you are in between. But what we will do is we will find your perfect value for where you need to know, where you need to go. Francesca's saying, I want to go global, roof off. Absolutely, baby. I just had a shift from my head into my heart, massive change in the last 48 hours. I don't blame you. I absolutely believe you. It's been an internal message to cleansing the crud out and off emotionally, energetically. I'd love to hear that. What I actually really wanted to do is, seeing as we have the space and we're not dealing with like 30 people, if you guys all want to take maybe a minute or two, just let me know what you're excited for. Let me know what you're doing here, what you hope to get out of this, how I can guide you, how I can help you. What's your biggest problem? What's your situation? You know, what value do you have coming up with? Like, Francesca's on the right track here. So maybe, do you want to start us off, Francesca? Maybe I'll let you. We're gonna unmute you here, and then that way, can you hear? Let's see if can you unmute yourself? Here you go.
Yes. Can you guys hear me? Okay.
Perfect.
Okay, cool. I'm glad the headphones work. So, hello everybody. First time meeting you. I'm so thrilled to see you face to face. It's so cool. I've watched your lives and I'm like, awesome. And I've always caught the replays until the last one. So I'm living most of the dream that I want to in my career. I've definitely leveled up finance-wise like I want to, but there's more to go. And I've had a huge struggle with school. I earned my bachelor's degree and I started going after my master's degree, and it's like I hit a roadblock come January where I just could not get past it. We had crazy stuff happening in the house. There was flooding, there were cockroach infestations, there was like marital issues on the rocks up and down and all over the place, and my daughter and I were in counseling, and it was just crazy, like straight crazy. And I started failing my classes over and over and over and over. I'm an A student, so I'm smart. I know I'm smart. I'm not trying to be cocky, just I know it. I've seen it. I've earned it. I earned it in my bachelor's degree. So the fact that I kept hitting a roadblock with my master's degree was really frustrating to me. And I got put on academic probation because my grade went so low. And I'm now at a point where I have to get caught up by Sunday. And I've already put in an appeal for them not to boot me out of school. So, and then I went through HR crap with my office manager, who's also been my friend of 10 plus years at the job that I work at now. And that was hard emotionally. We're on a bounce back from that right now, which I feel so blessed about. That's where the head and the heart part of that came from. So I'm happy to see like the job is getting back into alignment. There's been a drive in me ever since I was little to be like CEO, multi-million, global impact, leaving a legacy. Like I've never been able to let that go. Like that's just permeated in the essence of me, never has left. So, and then every time I started going towards success before, I was scared. So I finally had up leveled, saw the vision of the job that I'm in now, totally stepped out of my comfort zone, asked for more money at the previous job that I was at now, got it, was like, wow. And then I'm making that same dollar amount now, and I was just told today that we're going to be getting a raise, and I'm really excited because I've been pushing and pushing and pushing. I chose to stick with the job. I like that I'm in solar, so we're harnessing the power of the sun to give people clean energy. Like that's cool to me too. But there's still more. Like in my heart and my core, I want to be an entrepreneur. I want to be home. I already see us like buying a home in cash. Like there's these things that are here that I haven't like gotten into the material world yet. And that's the difference that I want to create. I want to go from where I'm at and break through. And the entrepreneur thing, it was like back forth, back forth, back forth. And it was selling more than it was like living through my heart. So that's why I told you the group that I want to join into. That spoke to my soul. Like that felt good. I was excited to be onboarding with that. But then there was a roadblock with that. And I'm like, dude, what is going on? So I connected with somebody who's a medium and an intuitive. And that's where the difference has come in the last 48 hours is using some sprays and essential oils that have just like completely rocked my world. And something happened. I made a live video, well, not a live, but like recorded a video and posted it earlier this morning. I was thinking about, well, you know, when you hit rock bottom, like, where do you go from there? The only place to go is up. And so I was outside and I was listening to the birds and I just had like this peace in my heart and something that I had written in on the appeal for my master's degree. I told them, you know, I fully believe that I'm a leader who's being cultivated to shape lives at the end of this. Like there's a purpose for that degree. There's people that I'm going to be impacting, and from however that's going to be, I don't want to lose that. And so this morning it was like, stop thinking about your immediate family and yourself. Stop thinking about how you want to be in a 2-bedroom apartment and you're griping and complaining because you're in a 1-bedroom, but then you're grateful, but then you're frustrated because you haven't moved yet. You know, it's like this back and forth tear. And it was like, get your focus off of yourself, get your focus off of the material things you want, and start thinking about and seeing about the lives that you're going to bless. And like, man, hey, Charlie, that was just such a shift for me and my heart. And I went, whoa, there's my motivation. Like it's past me now. It's out into the ether is where I don't want to rob those people of their blessing by me not following through with the journey that I'm supposed to be taking. And so I know that there's a chance, even if I put in all that crazy work, that I'm still going to get denied. And I had peace in my heart about that too. It's like, no matter what path this goes on, it's okay because the right door is going to open, and I'm still going to put in all the work and I'm still going to try. And even if it, hey buddy, even if it doesn't go right, that's okay, you know, because I know that the right door is going to open. So it's a lot of faith, you know. And then like work is crazy. We're in overdrive with our shifts and we're working this weekend, and it's just been like push. Yesterday was an 11.5-hour day, and I'm committed to excellence. Like I want to drive home their goals, and it makes me feel good too. And then I get to bless my family with the extra income. So just a lot of shifts, but I want to be able to eventually get out of the corporate world and work for myself. So I've kind of had a challenge with that. Like, how do I shift over and do it small and honor that for me and build what I want to build? Like, I want to leave legacy wealth to my daughter. I want to train her up to be an entrepreneur and stand on her own 2 feet, give her the opportunities to make that personal choice for herself, you know, and then run with it, but at least show her that path. While, you know, she's in school and learning for herself. So that's kind of where I'm at. Like, I want to get out of stuck. but I wasn't really sure what to do. And then I was watching my friend and I saw her name change with you. And I was so hungry for like whatever the next level was that I went ahead and I put my middle initial in my name. And I was like, damn it, you can't change your name for 60 days. Maybe that was kind of stupid, but it was also authentic. You know, so I didn't want to let that go because it was real. But I had like a challenge with the middle name for the longest time. So I was born Francesca Rose, and then I became Francesca Emily because my mom wanted me to have that. And she like put shade on Francesca for years, and I took that back when I had my daughter. So I felt like I took my freedom back, you know. And then the part with the rose, like I got to give that beauty that I had seen to my daughter. I wanted her to have that, you know, and for her name to have impact. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at right now. I'm like in such a crossroads, but it's so much peace and like so ready to just excel into the next level, you know?
It's crazy, right? Because I mean, when you talk crossroads, we're talking crossroads, you're like seeing like different lanes all come in at once. It's not just like, oh, should I go left or right? It's like, do I go left, right, up, down, back, forward, in, out? And so there's a lot going on in there. I absolutely appreciate that. What I want to do is I'm going to read you what I see so far. Okay. Reading all of your names would be pretty intense to do this. But as a life path 9, first of all, we have impact. So there's going to be like, I got to help the world. I got to help families, other families, not just my families, all of the children, all of the people. And there's a large level of impact that wants to show up first. And then we see the rise of a leader, and we see a conclusion in entrepreneur. So there's like a thing in your head that's just like, I gotta be in business.
Yeah.
I know I'm gonna be in business someday, one day, and I don't. And then we look at a name like Francesca. My middle name is Francisco, and I wrote Francesca. I was like the female version of this. It's literally the same vibe. And I was like, hey, I know what this looks like. And this is super intuitive, very energetically aware. Like you can see everything, and it's almost a bit of overwhelm to think that you are so aware of everything. And then you can hold it all together somewhat, but at the expense of yourself. Like seems like everything else is getting taken care of except for you. And then the one thing that you want, which is like, I love school, I'm going to do this, my master's, because it's attached to you, suddenly now it's like that's the one that starts to fail because everything else has got to take your energy in some way, shape, or form. The name E, the letter E instead of Francesca too, it's not actually helping your vibe.
Okay, I was wondering about that.
Success with Francesca is also not helping your vibe. And just in case anyone's like, so how does that work? Like how does it help your vibe or not? When we add the total number of all of the letters all together, we want either a 6 for long-term wealth, long-term balance, or we want an 8 for magnetism of wealth. So we see like a combination of like having these letters that either are, or these numbers that are either, and there's only 2 of them. The rest of them go off into spiritual, cosmic, intuitive, a fight mode, a pleasing mode, an independence, or hardworking. They're not going to take it. So we're seeing like a bunch of different options for where the name could go wrong. And when we get a chance to make it go right, we're looking at it in a few different areas. One will be the area for your Facebook names. So the one you use for your personal page. And then if you want to take a letter to Success with Francesca, we're gonna balance it out. Those would be Success with Francesca and a letter. Or we could get creative if you want to. And so what I would be suggesting is a Life Path 9 massive level of impact. If you keep the letter E and you're like, okay, well, I'm gonna add to this, we would be taking the letter N or the letter W. So you could take Francesca like W-E or E-W. Or you, I thought it said open to whatever is going to excel. I thought you meant open my Excel document. So I'm going to show you guys my notes just in case anyone's like, well, cool. I like stuff to see. But but the thing is with the W, it would be like Francesca W-E like this. So it would be adding both of them if you want to keep the E. If you're like me and you're like, I really don't think 2 initials are going to work it for me, what I want to do is I'm like, all right, well then let's take another quick look. And I get it. You're kind of like, okay, well let's just take these guys out. And then let's take a look at what happens. I think it was the C or the L. So what we'll do is we're going to take a look at, and And if you guys are using Android, I'm using a numerology calculator. It's just, it says numerology calculator. I'm actually currently making my app right now. So super sick. But what I'm going to do is we're going to take a look at another letter for Francesca right now. And we're going to see here the vibe of C or L would move this red. The Facebook call name is in red. So and you're like, I'm looking at your numbers here, 898 998. Like these are top numbers. If you look at a name and you're like global vision, like global legacy, and you want to do something supremely powerful, these are the numbers that are going to make you comfortable. Because at the age of 55, and that's, I know, like whatever, 15, 20 years from now, there's a value of master global wealth that you will have like powerfully balanced yourself out by then. But we need numbers that are going to help you into this direction. Like, I want to help the world, and I absolutely want to take care of business. Like legacy, like my kids be eaten, and let's do this. And so that's a 20-year run. That's not like, okay, great, and then 2 weeks later, hey Bobby, it's not working. I'm like, Rome wasn't built in a day. Let's go long term on this. Let's figure this out long term. You're going for your master's, so obviously you're patient to go for an extra how many years of school. But the reality is there that, okay, we got a long term vision. So in this case, this name isn't going to help us. We need to put something else. If you're going to use one letter, there is no one letter because it's all in red. It shows up on the front side. Nothing wrong with the front side, guys. Nothing wrong with that. If you feel aligned or comfortable, then take it. But they get a little bit more serious as they get into the blue, and a lot more serious as they get into the purple. When we're looking, I mean, at this point, I'm like, well, I mean, let's take a pick because we got a bunch of different names we could use. I bet you anything, there is something authentic that's yours. I'm just gonna try Emily just because I want to see it. There you go. See, like this would take you right here, 696. So if you take the word Emily. And I'm just going to do it like this so I don't get confused. And we're going to go Emily inside of like a red. So I know that we're talking about I know this is super confusing to look at this, guys, but really this is for me. These are my notes. So I can pay attention to what's going on. But if you were to take this and you were to go Francesca Emily, I'm not sure if this is something that would be of value to you, but you would be moving your vibration into Queen. This says Queen. And this says, like, when we're saying master woman, we mean the household's getting taken care of, the love life's getting taken care of, the money's getting taken care of, the global service and vision is getting taken care of. Like, this is like the impact of all things that come in together. So when we're seeing that, we're like, all right, this ain't bad. This ain't bad at all. We absolutely love the way this looks. If you want to leave this here for a minute, I'd love to leave this here for a second because this is super authentic. And if you're looking to go even a little bit higher, we could add a letter B, K, or T in there and move it like one step over into business, which kind of comes into God mode. But when we're looking at, you're like, oh, what about this NW? Like, I don't mind those words. Like, this is a very like powerful level of vibration there. I rejected Emily forever because of the struggle with my mom. So you may not want to take that name. Let's just, I mean, it's up to you, right? Like if you're okay to disidentify with the ego's experience, you'll free yourself. But at the same time, if I was in your case, I'd be like, burn that name. Don't ever. I ain't never gonna take it. So it depends on how you feel. If you're like, okay, I'm gonna use it. It's all good. But if you do feel like we haven't found it yet, you're going to get that ding, 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 that feeling inside of you that's like, oh, that's fire. That's that fire right there. And if that name doesn't give it to you, do not be afraid to be like, what else you got? What else you got? Because we're in a store here. We're not just, we're going to design it to fit what exactly it is that you need. So, I mean, I have, yes, like Tut, like Pharaoh. Okay, cool. So we're going to keep this like this, but then we're like, okay, well, what about that N or W? This blue, if you see the letter in blue, I did this only for a few of you because most of you guys are using the same name. I wanted to distinguish between business and Facebook. So if you're seeing NW, that's a choice to be putting your name Francesca W or Francesca N or success with, like this would probably be the only place where it would work. And then you would be putting yourself back into a business vibe. So this would be kind of cool because it also offers love and connection care, that type of thing. I didn't mean to unmute you here.
No, you're good.
Okay, cool. So we've got this feeling to think if you like business is specific.
Yes.
Facebook called name is more like here, this is who I am to the digital space. Your
Okay.
business name, when we say business, we're not saying hobby name, we're not saying kind of try it out name. We're saying this is the name that I want to use to create wealth. And so if you're putting your this is your Instagram, right?
Yeah.
So what are you going to monetize your Instagram or something, or what's like? Where do you show
Um,
up your business right now as an entrepreneur?
No, not. I have no place at all. There's nothing. So that came as an inspiration from a friend from an email. It was TD Prospers, and I was like, okay, I like that. That's cool. So I was like, well, how do I change mine to be something? Before this, it was Success from Home Mama is what I had because I wanted to be able to create the Success from Home and then branch it out. And then I changed it to Success with Francesca. So I'm open to change Instagram to whatever is going to put me in the placement that I need to be in. Like I want to be able to have Facebook and Instagram aligned because I plan on branding myself as I go forward with the group that I'm going to be joining. I just wanted to get the energetic stuff right first. And so that's
Absolutely.
why, yeah, that's why I came to you before I went there because I'm like, I'm not ready and I could just feel it. I just kept hitting block after block after block, and I'm like, yeah, this is not happening. Like, we need to change.
So
So that's
yeah,
why I'm here.
success with Francesca. I don't know how much do you spend a lot of time on Instagram?
Yeah, daily. Same with Facebook. I
Okay,
mean, once I'm able to roll out like what an actual brand is and be able to, keep launching that, like I got a My Intent bracelet this year, and the words that I got for myself were bold and authentic. And I have worn that like a freaking banner on myself, like internally and externally. And every time I tap into that, like I feel that internal power going forward, where I'm being me, being real. So I just think it's really interesting that as I kept rejecting Emily for so long, but the fact that it's a queen vibration is like mind blown. Like I'm where I needed to be, but I needed to stop rejecting me. Does
it's
that make sense?
yeah, it's not a queen vibration on its own, but it puts it
Okay.
together. The whole thing comes together to balance it back out. If
Okay.
and you could see the thing is if you had the negative energy and you disown the name, and then
Yeah. For years I did.
but if you own it now, you don't only just get a good vibe. You also capitalize on the spiritual growth of forgiveness, and like it's
Okay.
almost like a spiritual way of forgiving your mom, kind of thing. So let's just
Right.
call it what it is. You get a
Okay.
chance to use it in its power, and it's also
Okay.
authentic. But we could
Yes.
also keep looking if you want.
I'm totally open to keep looking. If there's something that you feel is like going to catapult it to like, holy cow, this is where you need to be for like global explosion, which is what I'm looking for, I want to be able to build and have it go out. Like when I think about my future and there's other people that just don't onboard and they're not with my vision, I already see myself in multi-millions. I already see myself in a mansion. I already see giving millions away to the church. I mean, it's here. I just want it materialized.
So what's the? This is another one that would work if you were to take Francesca Rose Tut. Okay, we're gonna.
Okay.
This one would put you into let's have fun. So there are names for different purposes. Okay, so
Okay.
let's talk about these really quickly, just so you guys understand this as we go through. If
Sure.
they're showing up in the green, if they're showing up in the green, you'll see that they have a 5 in there. That means let's run. Let's run. I'm passionate. I've got ambition. I don't need to worry about the details. Let's just run by the seat of our passion. And it's great to
Okay.
put a car into gear 1 when you decide to get it moving. Like you got to get that shit moving. Then we have more like the blue numbers that show up. They're usually either going to have a sensation of hard work or a sensation of spiritual patience. So both kind of need the same thing. Like you have to be steadfast and hardworking, and slow and steady wins the race, or this other vibration that says, I'm going to be a little bit more withdrawn and I'm not going to be quite in the front, but I'm going to be thinking, I'm going to be calculating and meditating and take the spiritual route. Whereas the 426, 246, they show up more like let's work with our hands and not with our mind. Then we have the more bigger numbers, and these guys all have 6s, 8s, 9s, 7s. They're the larger numbers that say higher level consciousness. I want to have it all. I want to do big things with the world. I want to go out there and have impact. I want to do
Yes.
something more powerful. So if you guys can get into that eventually or up front, if this is your first name and the first time you're getting a name alignment and you take that number, it could take you a little bit longer to get there. If you've already made some success in your life, you may already be past putting the name Rose there. It sounds like you're already more powerful than starter kit. So just in case you're like, that would be going backwards. Now I'm already seeing multimillionaire. Whereas you'll know that that's not a good number for you up there if you're kind of like, oh my God, multimillionaire. That's a lot of money.
No, that doesn't intimidate me whatsoever. Like billionaire is in my head. I mean, seriously, like what I see is just, it's huge, you know, and it's exciting. And then I keep dream building. Like my daughter and I are able to do that together. We synergize together so much with dream building. And, you know, like if she was to describe her treehouse to you that she wants to have, it sounds like an apartment, but I don't squish that because I love that she's just building and building and building too. And she can see it also, you know, for herself and at such a young age.
Okay, so I would be recommending, like, let's say you go Success with Francesca and you want to boost this thing back up. I would be taking the letter C or L. I think that was right here. I would be taking the letter C or L so that it could also have the same vibe as what you're doing. But then we may also be looking at a higher name at some point to get you to 988. This one should get you well into the like hundreds of thousands of dollars. And then you know, you're looking at your millions now. And then you're thinking, okay, now how do I get to the multi-millions and the like the higher level? This is where we would pull on a second name. Authentically feels right. And like spiritually feels like that's what we should be doing. But then we would be taking this and like, let's say you would be like the C or the L. And then that way you can move it a little bit like into the same vibe. Or you could take N or W and then add a little bit more monetary, a bit more of the wealth as opposed to life balance. Which one feels more like C or L or one option? N or W takes you more into a vibration of wealth. This one, the Queen, balances wealth and love. Great for family. This one starts with family and ends in wealth. So it's kind of like and when we see God, we're literally looking at like the letters God show up as 628. So if you were to take an N or W vibration and this is what it shows up in, it would have a very serious, I care about you. I'm a mama bear, and I'm absolutely going to mama bear on your business for you. I will grow you and help you get to where you need to go. This is where we would look at that. You know, do one of those letters pick out a little bit faster for you than the other?
Yeah, N or W. I'm good with either one.
I would say wealth for W.
Okay.
So let's go like this, and then that way we have you taken care of in this direction. And as for your business and building your brand, I would suggest that you build a lifestyle around providing value, insight, help, you know, and of course, because this is what I like to do, is to be there for people, you know?
Yeah. No, you're totally right on the money. That speaks to my heart all the way through. Cool. What I've had a bit of a challenge with is I'm investing so much time in my job, which I do love, that I'm not being able to invest in me and in business building like I wanted to. And
how old is the E inside of your name when you changed it?
Like less than a month.
Okay. Francesca Tutt is how you would identify usually.
I was, yes, exactly.
This thing works so freaking hard and never has time for itself. All it does is work more than it can, and it's so freaking exhausted that it's going to cause you issues in health, and you're going to be in trouble now. And you're like, no, I'm an A student. I don't get in trouble. This isn't what I'm about. And this name is more like, no, you're going to overwork yourself, and you want to go in 5 different directions at once. So I would be introducing yourself as Francesca Emily Tutt, and like. Now suddenly it's like, I make time bend for me. Like, of course you're gonna do this, and you know, and if they don't, then of course the spirit was like, not even a name gonna help you now. Like, if the set has been set in motion, and you're like, I'll accept that. Like, I'm cool with that. But you guys lost a good one, and that feeling of you being in your own power. I got to create my own thing. No matter what happens, these numbers are super, super powerful. But to further this effect, I'm just gonna quickly. Go back and let's just quickly take a look, because I want to.
Quick question: Would you mirror Francesca Emily Tutt with Facebook and Instagram, since I'm wanting to have both be working for me?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
But
Well,
hey, it doesn't help to have a couple of different outfits. But if you
okay.
want my opinion, I took Bobby F. Perry Hart to rule them all. That was my my name. But
Well, see, that's what I'm saying. Like, I just needed to own it. And it's so funny because what I kept like putting in the dark is what I needed to bring out. Like, do you see what I'm saying? Like, the theme for like bold and authentic this year, like stamped on my head, like, okay, this year you're going to own you, and that's it.
well, you're
So,
in North America, so you're in that going through that massive level of change. Like today's like a day to be like, boom, I'm gonna fight this. But the reason why I
yes.
brought this up is because Rose, Emily, Claxton, Stelter, Robertson, Tut, there's
Yeah.
so many things that need to be validated that we
Okay.
simply don't have the time to actually go into like together on a group session.
Right.
What I also wanted to tell you guys, just so that you guys know this, is that working alongside of me, I will give you guys discounts. So you're not going to pay full price because you guys have already paid 111 to be here. It's going to be minus 111 from your 60 or 90-minute session. It'll be minus the price you paid today. So
Okay.
basically, you're going to get your money back when you work with me anyway. In case you do want to pay yourself the justice that it deserves to actually go through your story. But this
Yeah.
makes you feel good. This should make you feel a lot better to think, I like this. Or if it doesn't, then, it's like, okay, well, whatever. But the fact is, if that's the case, then we didn't pick the right name. Because these names should zap you a little bit and be like, you
Yeah.
know what? I love the feeling. I can see it
Yeah.
now. I like this. And when I see
No,
it, I'm
it,
suddenly
it
reminded of
feels
my
much
millions.
better.
Good.
I want to ask you about something because I wanted to kind of brand Confident Fire as like a blog or a book or something. How does that feel as far as a name with me?
Confident
Like,
Fire?
yeah. And
Uh,
that's something that stuck with me for the last 7 years.
it would be if let's it's missing the vibration for money. It's not a bad look. It's
Wow.
just that
Okay.
it doesn't make money in it.
Okay.
It will want to work really hard and then you said how old is this name?
7.
How much have
There's
you
so much shift in like intuition and like seeing through eyes of spirit that happened around the time when I had my daughter. Like, and I ended up changing my email at that point in time. That's when I took my Francesca name back. Like, there was a part of me that shifted and owned my self empowerment, and then there was a part of me that kind of like downslided and went back into the people pleasing. Like when you were saying that, I was just like, yes, yes, yes. It's in alignment with what I've gone through.
It's tough though because with the numbers that are happening inside of your names that show up here, here, there's a
Yeah.
large level of intuition. So it's almost
Yeah.
like you're haunted by your vision, and then communicating it out is like the tough part where it's like this isn't what I thought it was. I was supposed to say something else, and so this puts your purposeful communication back. But
I
let's
love
move
it.
forward. I want to move on just because I don't want to and this is stuff we would definitely want to be talking about one on one.
Okay. Yeah,
But
I'm happy with seeing both. Like both of these make me feel peace in
good.
my heart.
And also, if you do want to double over, you want to make it super consistent. There ain't nothing wrong with that. This looks real
Okay.
because otherwise people will be like, "What's the W there for?" And that could be a little strange to have to explain that. So
Yeah.
you could play with it if you want, or you could just make it easy and build that brand around you. Build that brand
Yeah.
around the queen, and the queen doesn't need a tagline. It's just like her. This is who she is. She'll
See,
come up with
that's
other cool
kind
things
of
later.
where I was at with the authenticness.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right.
For the longest time, like I rocked fake ponytails and same thing, right around the time of having my daughter, I was like, okay, I'm done with that. Like I'm gonna wear my real hair because I fought with having curly hair for forever and then I decided to work with it. So there was a huge shift for me of like owning who I am versus, going with what this person thought or this person thought or oh I should be like this. It was like, no, like I'm gonna rock me and if you don't like it, screw you, get out.
Thank you
Like
so
I
much
just
for
I
that.
place.
It's like what we can all really draw from this is that like I don't know how many times I want to put my hand up and be like, girl, I know exactly how you feel. A lot of people are going to feel this way because of what
Yeah.
you're sharing for them. So we appreciate you so much for being so candid with
You're
your.
welcome. Thank you. I'm excited to see other people get aligned too.
All right, let's do it. So who wants to come next? I'd like to. Let's take in. And Lori's been waiting like a month and a half for this. So maybe Lori, if you want to come in next, what we'll do is we're gonna unmute you if you can. How's it going? Oh,
Good. How are you?
Great. Great to connect with you again. I am so super blessed to do this for you one more time. Let's just quickly take a look at this because Lori's going to represent, a lot of her is going to represent the technical mind, the analytical version, the really powerful part of her that's going to be super practical. We see this in Jamie's April. We see this in my 1984, Marilyn's 1984, Lori's 1980. The reality is that this 4 shows up as very, very real. Like, give us the real details, the real data. And so when we're looking at this life path 4, we want to make it easier on you. We don't want to make it so hard. We don't want to, and this is why I really loved when we put the A in there, to think that this would be a really wonderful way for you to have a bit of a punch. But how you doing? How's things going? How's things going since our meeting? What's been going on now? And love to hear a little bit from you.
Well, nothing has been really bad, but I mean, it hasn't been that great, but I think it has a lot to do with me as well. I've been like just really overwhelmed lately. I actually had to take a step back from my business for a little bit because just with work, like I really don't enjoy my job that I'm doing right now. I work at Home Depot, so I work in retail. It's been very exhausting, and then trying to find time to do my business and just keep everything afloat. So I've been like lacking in a lot of areas, I've noticed, which is coming down on different areas of my life. So it hasn't been that great. I don't know. I wish I could say that it has been, but I mean, I'm excited about the new launch and stuff like that. I'm just having a really hard time prioritizing. I'm feeling overwhelmed a lot lately for some reason.
I would say that, like, when the pressure starts to build, that something needs to explode, and so we're okay to do that here. Like, this is the safe space to do it. But that 4 in your chart, it stands for foundation. It stands for practical, leveled off, like perfect for Home Depot. Working a job there, like, it'll be safe. It's like, okay, I'm getting the bills done. I'm responsible. But then that 6, that 3, and look at your name, 663, and that 6 and that 5. You're going to get frustrated. It's going to feel like this isn't working. I'm not happy. I don't want to do this. This is exhausting me. This is draining the shit out of me. And this feeling is there. Sorry, guys. I know there's little kids here watching too. I'm going to try to make sure that I don't drop too many swear words and stuff. The cats and the kids watching us. But the reality is that there's a challenge to move past this, that we absolutely want to give the love that it deserves and needs. The name, let's just talk a little bit about this name. Do you feel like we hit it right, or did you feel like this is something that needs to be realigned?
I think it might need to be realigned.
Okay, now that sounds a bit hesitant. So I just want to—
I'm not sure.
That's okay, and that's okay. Remember, there are 3 different types of people. You either take one name, you do it all. You take one name, and then later on you take another name. This sounds kind of like right now. Or you can take one name here, one name here, one name here, one name here. If you're feeling a bit of the confusion, I would like to think it's because we actually picked the wrong letter, or the letter ran out, and now we want to do something a little bit slightly different. So we're going to ask everybody, as we should have done this before, to really pay that love, care, and attention to this woman's path, and we're going to lend all of our energy, and to think, man, I've been there, and to think that I live this same problem in a different part of my life. If you can connect those dots, as Lori starts to feel better about her name, you're also going to feel validated in your level too. It's really weird how the brain works, but like a safer name, something that will allow you to move forward and not feel like you're having that level of frustration, would be a J or an S. So if you were to take this, we would be looking, instead of this, I got to run, I got to do this, and then, oh my God, I'm still working for another 4 hours. And then, it's that old guy who keeps coming in here and doesn't buy anything. Oh God. And that feeling is like, I don't want to be here anymore. Like, I'm somewhere else, and I don't want to actually be present to where I'm at. This name could be disconnecting you, because the 5 wants to move and wants to get running, and you're sitting there very loyal. And it's like, okay, so if we had a name that says, I'm just going to build this, I'm going to have a little bit more discipline, I'm going to slow down a little bit, I'm not going to get so overwhelmed, and slowing down isn't a bad thing. We want to speed up, but I mean, I'll tell you something, you take a look at Francesca for a second, speeding up isn't going to help you. Speeding up isn't going to make you get it anywhere. It's just going to feel like, we're not balancing ourselves out the way we want to. I would like to think a J or an S would work just because it has the 4, it has the 6. These are your numbers. And you could be if it's been, what, 6, 8 months or something, or maybe it's almost a year since we met, the feeling is that you may not be done changing your name. You could also consider taking the letter C or L and putting Deanne in there. So Lori Deanne C. Schroeder or Lori L. Deanne Schroeder. If you were to take a C or an L plus Deanne, this moves you into a higher vibration that will also get you out of the hardworking vibe. So you could take a step down to the side, or we could take a step forward to the top. It all depends on you. I was thinking, to myself, I'm like, I want to give everybody mastery names today. And I didn't want to pick on you for having a name that was just balanced and not like.
It's all good then.
Yeah, but at the same time, I was like, well, what are we going to do? I don't want to just have to give her 2 letters. I can't see anything that's going to work there. So then I looked at it and I was like, okay, well, there's also Lori Deanne S. if you want to just go over the cliff, which I probably would say would hurt you right now. But if you wanted something that says, look, I'm growing and I feel like this name isn't quite where I need to be, it could just be because it needs to have more love and more purpose and more passion towards others. But do you feel like any one of these letters is calling to you more than the other?
Like out of the C and L?
Let's go through them. There's either okay, so imagine we're eyes closed right now, or you can do this with your eyes open. Pretend like your eyes are closed and we're at the mall and we're finding the outfit for you, right? And we're going to shop for this dress and you're creating the success of your life. That's the date I'm going on tonight, success of my life. So I want to dress to impress. And so we're looking at this and we're like, all right, Lori A. Schroeder, you're like, yeah, I came in here with that. I'm not buying that one. I'm going to take that one out. I need to upgrade. This one doesn't fit where I need it to fit. And then we're like, all right, well, how about a little bit more of a tactile feel? Lori J. Schroeder. Like, all right, okay. Lori S. Schroeder. Okay. I'm seeing this. This reminds me of my hard work feeling. This is going to be okay with my job. I'm not going to hate it so much, but I'm also going to start to move out of it. It holds a value because from 0 to 27, you were in a 4 and 6. So it will be familiar, but then we can also go AB, AK, or AT. If you wanted to bring in more love and more enjoyment and more of that sweetheart princess vibe that you were born with, you're in a 3 right now. You have a name 3 right now. So you were to take AB Schroeder or AK or AT, you could take TA or BA or KA, take those letters. If you're familiar or okay with taking 2 initials, some people really aren't. I'm one of those people who are kind of like, do I have to? No, you don't. I was just wanting to give you an option just in case you wanted to consider it. Or we could go with the U, Lori U. Schroeder. So this one shows up as independent, very philosophical, kind of like a doctor's vibration, like I'm going to do this by myself. I need to be by myself. I'm looking at your numbers. I'm like, this isn't really you, though. You're very loving, caring, sweet. You're super practical. It's feeling it's going to be the dude. She'll do anything for anyone. You have plans, and someone's like, you take my shift. You're like, I guess so. And this feeling is just wanting to serve people. So being alone from people may not be your best move. But this one, I believe, may be the more powerful version of you. Let's just go Lori L. Deanne Schroeder. And I know it's a little bit longer, so you may want to consider hiding the letter somewhere in there. You could spell Lori Deanne Schroeder with 2 C's and just sneak the C in there. But having this letter, this number, we look at your name, double 6s, and then queen, princess. It's like duck, duck, goose. This isn't cool because she's got love, care, emotion, power, and then it squeezes her down into a really small outfit, which is going to make us feel timid and meek and, I don't know, I should speak up for myself. And that's not really who you are, because you're going to get irritated and annoyed when someone doesn't have their shit together. You're just going to be like, what the hell's wrong with you? This isn't that hard. You just show up and be nice. That's all you got to do. And so this vibration would remove the frustration, take the princess out, and put global service impact on there. So in case you're ready for the long haul and you're like, I'm going to take this name with me until I'm good. And when I'm good, it's either that you're done living or you're done living under Schroeder and you decide to get married. Is this a married name or no?
No.
And do you have one? Or are you getting one?
I don't think we're getting married.
That's fine. It's okay.
We've been together for 12 years. We're just happy the way we are.
Why ruin it? Why ruin it? No, absolutely. Yeah, definitely not. I'm just going to make sure I turn some lights on here so I can see myself as well. I don't want to get dark as the day gets old. But we've got a choice here. Does the C or the L with Deanne start to click a little bit better? Or do you feel like we're still missing it a little bit?
I don't know. It just seems weird with the double, like with the letter, but like with the C and then the D. But
how would you do with something like this? I mean, like, would this be something you would consider? With the
no, the people are gonna be like, you spelled your name wrong.
Okay, fine. How about Lori? That doesn't make any sense either. So
no, I'd have to put the initial in there. They'd be like, you spelled your name wrong, and I can't change it forever.
How about Lori Deanne? And then from there, we could take an H, a Q, or a Z. If you were to go something like Lori Z or Lori H Deanne, would that be something that you would feel or click? This one says business, spiritual, and then balance.
Okay. Yeah.
Is that something that starts to come onto the table? Instead of the H, you could take Q, you could take Z. It looks funky. It looks pretty neat. And it's got a nice cool kind of feel about it. You could even spell your name like that and nobody would really notice, or I don't know if you would. But, we're putting a letter in there now, right?
Yeah.
So this one may be a valuable vibe because if the 4 is a baby version of the 8. We see this 4 being time is money. We see the 8, money is more money. So it's like the mama bear of money is the powerful level of vision. So from 4, you step into the place where you're like, oh, this feels so much better. And then the 7 brings in that intuition, that quietness of the mind. And then the 6 balances you back out into the loving person that you are. So this one would be something of valuable for me because I use it. I use that vibe myself. And I'm like, it's awesome. I love it. It's great. I picked it. And my middle name is Francisco. So I'm kind of like, I'm safe there with an authentic vibe. But does one of these kind of tickle you a little bit better?
Yeah, I like so would I keep my last name or just do it as Deanne?
This would be looking like this. So you wouldn't be using your last name in front of it.
Okay, no, that's fine. I don't really care about that. I was just, I like it like that. That's
the H?
Yeah.
Let's do it. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to give you the upgrade here. And this is crazy to think that like by a couple of strokes on a keyboard, we're taking your name and we're rewriting the way that your vibration approaches the void. And it's so super weird. I think it's like, dude, it's just a Google Sheets. Like it's not like, don't get so crazy for a second. But we're actually literally saying that this name born, this birthday is now choosing to identify under a business, spiritual, and balanced vibration. Run this until it's not there anymore. You sound like my wife, and to be fair, she has this exact same look. She's born on a 6 month. Her birthday is January 3rd or June 3rd. So hers shows up born in 84, born in June, born on the 3rd, literally has the exact same life path. And I'm like, oh wait, that's pretty cool. That's actually pretty sweet to think that you guys should meet. You should talk to Sally.
Yeah, we should.
You would absolutely it's like a breath of fresh air to be like, oh my God, we're like the same. And and so she's going through the same thing. She had a name. She changed it. She's about to change it again. There's nothing wrong with thinking, hey, I've outgrown this outfit. I'm ready for the next one. Any questions at all? Any comments?
No, this is awesome.
Cool,
it even feels better already.
Yeah, it almost feels like someone just opened a window and we're like, oh, fresh air. Like, oh, it feels almost like you can expand a little bit into it. So while we're on the topic, everybody take some notes or make some mental notes or commit this to memory, whatever you want to do. Signature, okay? The way you journal, the name you use when you talk to yourself, the name you use where you go into your meditation. You have your social media platforms, which is a grab bag: LinkedIn, Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook, personal, business, Flickr, like who knows, wherever you decide to show up. Hootsuite, you could have your WordPress, okay? There's like there's a bunch of different things that could show up over social media. You get to choose and decide which one. Don't be like, oh yeah, I'm going to change my LinkedIn name and you don't even have a LinkedIn account. It's not relevant. Then we have things that are going to show up like we went through email. There's your website. There is like your telephone number, like the call display. Then we have things like, I think there's one more I'm missing that's on this level. But if it comes to me, it comes to me. Then we have the bigger stuff. Your legal name. Please, nobody change your name legally right now unless you're actually none of you. Because I was going to say Marilyn, but her name's already good. So don't change your name. Nobody's changing the name legally right now. If you want to eventually, I would absolutely recommend this. But especially for all of you except for Marilyn. Actually, Marilyn, you may want to, considering you may want to take Hall. I'm not sure what your deal is. If you want to talk about it, we can. But in case you were to keep Marilyn Danielle for sale or Forcey, I'm not sure how to say with the French. Forcey. Either way, whatever it is. Okay, it works right now. However you like to say it, it actually works right now. So in case you're like, I don't know if I should change this. You really don't have to. Marilyn Hall would be an upgrade, though. So we'll talk about that when we get there. But in terms of where do you use this name, this is your top list of places you got to go to. Oh, yeah, that's right. Zoom and Gaz. Like you're showing up as a coach or as a sponsor or as an upline or as a thing on your landing page. And then also when you do the Zoom stuff, you're expressing your vibration to the group. And what is Gaz? Francesca, we'll figure it out later. It's all good. Gaz is the Global Affiliate Zone. So it's the group of entrepreneurs that we all work with. Okay, cool. Is that the group you're planning on joining? Get her done. I've been with the group for like 5 years, just since before then. And I will be here forever. I will always be here to help you, make the success that you want to have happen in your life. So yes, Gaz Global Affiliate Zone. This is what it would look like. Okay. Interesting with the email. Would that be something you would address me one-on-one? Absolutely. Yes, please. Cool. Been in 2 years. Love it, Lori. But now, what we're gonna ask is so this name feels good. We're gonna use it in meditation. We're gonna use it for journaling your vision, for showing up as a brand. Do a word swag on this name and like create some powerful content with the word looking like really neat on the, like a picture or something, and run. And this one will make you feel really good in the long run. But if you're feeling exhausted or anxious or feeling like I'm not doing what I should, I can't find the time, and this will start. This is like releasing toxic, we got a pressure cooker, okay? And I had a rice cooker before. And the rice cooker would click when it's done, and then you open it, you got rice. And you're like, sweet, cool. A pressure cooker is a bit different. It will build and build and build pressure, and then you gotta I gotta take my little wooden ladle, and this is, I'm sorry, my selenite, this is my selenite, whatever. This is my one. I'm not meaning to diminish you into a wooden ladle for a minute, but I go there and I'm like, and it goes, and then like for about 30 seconds, it is boiling, blistering, burn you, 3rd degree hot, pressure that's releasing. So be careful on yourself, just in case you're like, and you're like, I got to get this stuff out of my face, out of my head, because the life path for it, it's known to getting frustrated. I've got a wife who's here. So we absolutely know that, when things aren't going the right way, this could be like, you don't want to be in front of me right now. So that spraying of that hot pressure is part of the releasing. Underneath that, once it levels off, there's some sweet, tasty rice in there, and you're going to make a wonderful meal with your life. And so we know that you've done this on purpose. We did this for a reason. And now that we're getting to a chance to move over, you're like, oh, now back to that flagrant smell, that fragrant smell of feeling that I'm going to do something powerful with this thing. It feels better already. And that's what I like to hear. Cool. Any other questions?
Nope.
Cool. Now, I'm going to give you all get a written report. But for Lori and Marilyn, since you guys already got yours, we're going to discuss what we want to do. I could give you a brand new one with the brand new name and an updated calendar, because it only lasts a year. So I'm not sure how far yours goes to, if you've been looking at it or not, but I will update that for you. Or if you want one for someone else, you let me know, okay?
I just like an updated one with my name.
Cool. Yeah, I'll do that for you. I'll absolutely do that for you. Okay, cool. So while we're going now, I guess we're going in order. If Marilyn, do you want to get yours? You want to come up and step on up and let's see what we got. How you doing? Just gonna unmute you here.
I'm good.
How are you?
Super exciting.
This is loving. I'm so blessed that you're here, and thank you so much for being here. We got a feisty woman right here. This woman's like, like we'll say, oh, she's French. No, she's just crazy. Like there's a warrior inside of this. The 5 will make you very strong for travel. We've done this, but then super loyal, and you also want business like yesterday. Like you want to make it happen. Like there's like this thing there that's going down. So, and then we look at your name. We're like, all right, well, we got more of the same. And to further on this, Lori A. Schroeder was the same thing as this Marilyn Diane for sale. And now we have this also showing up as Sally. So this 516, this 156, I know this to be passionate, independent, and a fierce mama bear. Okay, so I like that. But you also got a really heavy business hand. And we like this because your name is like numerologically aligned. So I believe the conversation is around Peace Rec Clothing. But at the same time, do you have any thoughts, comments, questions, your biggest challenge? How you doing? How's things been going since our reading? What's going on?
Well, since we had our reading, it's just mind-blowing the first time, for starters. And then, so I was like, just super pumped that like my name was all aligned and super powerful. And then there was like a whole bunch of stuff that had went on in my life with my partner and I. And we like, I don't know, it was just weird. And I started to like take personal development courses and became a personal development coach and got a coaching certificate for that. And then it was just like all of a sudden coming into myself and realizing who I was again. And then I took my level 1 and 2 Reiki and really tried to harness the energies, but it was so scattered. Like I just didn't know where I wanted to go. I knew what I wanted to do, but not really where I wanted to go. And then my husband was like, we should start a clothing company. He's like, you've always wanted to have a clothing company and be like your own designer kind of. But I was like, well, I don't really have all the stuff to do that, right? But so then we started a clothing company just out of nowhere. One day went to a lawyer and started a clothing company. So, and it's doing really good. So now it's just a matter of like, I don't know. For me right now, I don't know if it's just the full moon or what it is, but like my sleeping, I just feel like I'm exhausted. Like I haven't had enough sleep. I don't know if I've just put so much energy out there that all of a sudden it's like, hang on, slow down. Like you need to come back to reality and it takes a step back almost, but I don't want to take a step back. Does that make sense? I don't know.
Absolutely. The 5 is like, don't tell me to sit down. You tell me to sit down, I'm going to want to stand up faster. And that 5 is going to be like, I want to move. And there's an ambition there. And now you got it right there in the middle of your business. It's going to keep you very busy and it's going to look like a lot of action. But underneath it, once we start collecting profits, it's not going to be there. And this is the difficult part of this, is that the vibration goes one past business wealth and goes into global service. So this is very true to what the name says, which is why it's going to actually work really well. But I'm wondering if you're open to a suggestion for how it would start to develop monetary wealth. The best thing I could suggest would be something like an F or an X included in this, but then also it would alter the vibe. There aren't very many things I can do with this one that would get it back into here without adding 2 letters. And then at that point, we're like, we may, I'm not sure if that's even up for grabs, because if you've already gone to the lawyer, you're like, shoot, I'm a little too far for this. There is a cool secret trick.
Okay.
So if anybody likes secret tricks, you got to be really like, I don't train this. I actually don't even train this because I'm like skeptical. And imagine that, right? And I'm like, all right, so how does this even look? If you wanted to do a super special trick, this is how it works. I'm gonna say it like 3 or 4 times, but this is something you journal. So you took this name and you basically stamped it and you're like, this is what it is. And it doesn't work. And you're like, shoot, I don't want to have to, like change my name. What can I do? There is it depends on how much you really believe in this kind of stuff. if you were to journal, you put today's date, you put today's, like the time, you timestamp it, and you go, Dear Universe, or Cosmic Guide, or the infinite all that there is. I'm not sure what you, Dear Chuck Norris, however you want to talk to. This feeling shows up now that says, okay, so Dear Universe, let's just put it that way. The current vibration, Peace Rec Clothing Ltd, right? Or wherever it is that you want. The current vibration so-and-so is, and then you have the number that it shows up in. As of now, the vibration is, and then you write the new number. So it's kind of like a spiritual command that you would be writing into your journal, your vision journal, or your like deepest, like notes that you would take. And then you would say, you would sign it, and you would put your full address. Then you would go as far as putting it into the country, into the planet Earth, into the solar system, the Milky Way, inside of the universe. So you would localize this one point so that all of the energy of intuition, spiritual guides, spiritual knowledge, all of this stuff comes back down into that one moment to say, I've rewritten the vibe. The reason why I'm a little bit off on this is to think every single one of our eyes is like a universe. So if you go and do this by yourself somewhere and you're like, finally, it's going to be combated against all the onslaught of everyone else's own personal universe, identifying and associating on a subconscious, unconscious level. There's like an actual magnetic vibration, if you use it on a phone, that's going to be resisting you. So you may have to do it once a month, once a year, once a day, or whatever it is to quickly rechange it all over again. Like when I did that, sometimes you have to do this for certain things, like your credit card. Like, if you add up your credit card and it adds up to a 5 and you're like, no wonder I'm never getting that thing paid off. And it's like, I'm always just paying the minimum balance and this is not cool. This is one of the reasons why. If that thing ended in 4, if that thing ended in 6, then that credit card is going to get paid off every single freaking month. So and this is this is like session 4 or session 5 stuff, okay? Where we're like, so what else can we do? Well, we can take all the stuff that you can change, like your driver's license, your passport number, your credit card number, your bank account, your telephone, and rewrite that so that it actually works in your favor. If it's taking a name, we're a bit tough to do that. But you could always take, Peace Rec Clothing Ltd. Tell me a little bit about your business. What is it supposed to do? Is it supposed to make you money? Is it supposed to make you happy?
Well, it's to make money, obviously, and for like to make us or make me happy and us happy. But I want it to be like a stepping stone kind of to build money, and so that way the kids have something for when they're older, right? So that way they can inherit a really good clothing company or something. But we also want to be able to purchase a place either down in the Okanagan or Kootenay region, somewhere other than north, because it's just not looking so good up here. But and then have my husband wants the snowmobile retreat side of it, and I would love to have where people can come and learn the meditation and learn to focus on themselves and learn the spiritual guide of things and learn to do the journaling and to find themselves again. Because I know for me, after I had talked to you and I went through all that, it was such an eye-opener and just amazing. And the feeling you get when you start to harness your energy and learn about the energies and learn about your vibrations, and to I, for the first time in my life, I started writing in a journal a while ago, but then I for the first time ever consistently every day wrote in my journal from November up until last week when we took off down to Williams Lake to see my grandma. And then I forgot my journal at home, and I was like, oh shit. And it was here, and then I missed a week. And I could tell, when we got back, I was like, I feel like I'm lacking something. And that's where my energy, I just felt like I was being I don't know, at night, I'm having a hard time actually fully sleeping. And then because we're coming to the point up here where we're going to be seeing sun almost 24/7, the sun is up at 2:00 in the morning and feels like it's 5. So then you're wide awake and it's like, okay, it's time to get up. But then you look at your clock and you're like, oh man, it's only 2.
That's crazy. Where are you?
Trying to go back to sleep.
Where are you?
Up in Dawson Creek.
So it's like sunrise at 2 a.m.?
Yeah, and it's like coming into the point here in the next couple of weeks where we're gonna be pretty much sun like almost 24 hours.
That's nutty. That's crazy.
Yeah, it doesn't really get dark.
Blackout
Like it
curtains.
goes dusky, but it doesn't go dark.
Yeah, you need those. You need those blackout curtains, and then
Yeah, well, I got them in the bedroom, but I keep on forgetting to shut them at night because it's so freaking hot in our place. So
Oh, God.
the furnace is right by the bedroom, so we have our windows open and we keep the furnace going so the kids don't get frozen out because they'll come in. It's so cold in here. We're like, use a blanket. We're so hot.
Oh, that's crazy. I would like to think that in order to reconcile this, you have to pay attention to the fact that you never stop. Okay. And then the other side is that you needed that outlet, that journaling, that feeling of getting it out on paper. It's really powerful. I'm glad I shared this with you guys because I usually don't share this, but that rewriting the code stuff will really help to set into place. And you don't have to do it with just that one code. You could say things like, tonight I get a powerful level of sleep. Tonight I'm able to I'm calm down. I build myself in that area. And you're setting that vibration. And you sign that thing as Marilyn Hall. And like the universe is going to have to listen to you. That thing says God. Like that's like God speaking. So but then when we look at Peace Rec clothing, this is like I work really hard for the universe. And if we're wanting to just, well, I don't want to hard for everybody. I want to give this to my kids. I would absolutely be suggesting the F or the X. So it could be something like Peace Rec X or Peace Rex, clothing like that, or some. I'm not sure how you want to put the whole thing together. But the reality is that moving that extra letter in there would now help you monetize it in a responsible, orderly fashion that can kind of like limit your speed a little bit, which is nice to sort of calm down, cool in, and sort of like run at a powerful pace, at a steady pace, as opposed to just like shooting it off and then crash and burn. And then that feeling of anxiety shows up. This one, the anxiety will be a lot less because of the feeling of step by step by step. I want to show my kids something. I'm going to give them something. But it wouldn't be F and X. It's F or X. Okay, so just so you know, it's one or the other, unless I put something in there like with the quotation. Then I'm talking about both letters in there. Okay, but yeah, if you wanted to do something like that, or because what is this? Is this a store or is it just a business?
It's good. It's all online. So it's just like it's like an online store. So I'm waiting to get our like website done by a guy up here, and he seems to be taking a really long time, which I like to do things quick. So and that's where Stefan was like, slow down.
That's so funny.
It's like we're.
So what's Peace Rec? What's going on with that? Like what does that mean?
It's just like for up here, because so many businesses were struggling, so we were able to like a lot of the profits, we were able to help some of the stores in town, and then quite a few of the families in town, that because there was a lot of when the boom kind of stopped up here, a lot of people lost their jobs and a lot of the companies were starting to suffer. And then now we have this Caribou closure, and a lot more of these companies they're scared, and they're already starting to like wanting to shut their doors. And so we just decided the Peace, because it's the Peace region, and then recreation because we're like avid sledders, and then in the summertime like into the hiking and the camping, and with the kids with the skiing, and they want to shut our ski hills down up here. And so we're just like, do we stay up here? No. So it's, I mean, that part is a bit stressful, but that's what the Peace Rec stands for. So it's just like the Peace region and recreation.
I'm just trying to see if there's something there that kind of like helps. Okay, so yeah, I was trying to find something that would be similar to that, and just wanted to see like Peace Recreation clothing. But Peace Rec clothing with an X or an F would be the ticket for this, in case you want.
Would it be like rec as in like still the RAC and then just add an X at the end, or
yeah, like you could go like, and you could literally put this X anywhere you want. Like, you could, like literally just go Peace Rec, Peace X Rec clothing. Or Peace Rec X clothing, something in there that would like make you feel okay. But that would kind of like be the one. Or Peace Rec clothing F for fashion. Yeah, there you go. Donna's saying Peace Rec clothing X. That's what sounds the coolest for me. That's what makes me feel like this is kind of a superhero vibe. But the reality is that it actually helps to balance stability, structure, move you forward. And then it has the 6, which says longevity, family. I want this for my kids. They're going to grow up. They're going to work at this place. And they're absolutely going to help this thing happen. It'll even turn into wanting to go into a brick and mortar. Like, it'll be so online that it ends up having a small little showroom somewhere. Like, this is a really wonderful thing that can help grow on itself. But it may feel very stressful because the 4 says, let's get it done. And the 9 says, we're going to help everybody else but ourselves. And then the 5 says, I gotta go. And it just doesn't want to stop. And it's like that. And you're going to be like, oh man, story of my life. And the last thing you want to do this is inside of your business. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Cool. All right, let's keep it. Let's do it. Let's keep this. Let's prop it. And let's do this. Any questions at all?
Not really. That was like my main kind of one there.
Okay.
Then, yeah.
If anything else comes up, I'd love to hear from it. And it's so super cool to see. Like, she got an aligned name, so I'm not sure if you're planning on changing this. But if you do want, is that up for grabs?
It is. It totally is. I just haven't done it because I was too cheap at that point to change my stuff over.
I'll tell you something. If you want a bit of that relaxed vibe, the Marilyn Hall is much easier than the Marilyn Diane for sale. Okay.
Okay.
And just so I know, how do you say it?
For sale.
For sale. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, the 5 in there, it moves too fast, and it was creating a bit of that anxiety in Lori. And she doesn't have that number, so she's a lot more calm. Where you're like, look, I have it. I don't need it everywhere. I'm starting to feel it now, and this one, it really helps. So the fact that you've got this, I would probably be wanting to move that forward without Diane. But if you did want Diane, I don't mind to level that off for you.
No,
okay.
I don't want.
Cool.
I'm cool without that.
Cool. All right. Well, if you have any other questions, let me know.
Okay.
And Jamie, what's up? This is a very interesting looking chart. Are you with us? Let's unblock you on you.
Oh, there, we got me.
Cool. We got you. We got you. This is tough. You're no longer Jamie Lynn Blunt, though.
No.
So now you're Jamie Lynn Blacklock.
Yes.
Okay, I'm just going to quickly double check this because I want to make sure I have this. And let's go Blacklock like that. And we'll do it like this. Okay, I hear you. I feel this. So, Life Path 3. You haven't had this done before. So what we're going to do is...
everything you've said so far is like...
I guess I should have started with the people who had, no idea what's going on. Okay, so let's talk about your life path. This Life Path 3. A lot of things are going to go over your head.
Okay.
And so just because the 3 is going to be rooted in joy, pleasure, fun, social, charm, you want to help people feel good, you want to absolutely give your energy to others, that 3 is a wonderful friend. It's going to be like no worries, true blue. It's going to have a level of creativity. Maybe you're a writer. Perhaps you have that hidden little singing voice that you like to not pretend isn't there. Or the wanting to care for other people.
I am so tone deaf.
So maybe you might not be singing, but there's a level of creativity inside of somewhere. Probably the reason why you're hiding it. But the 3 wants to have fun and wants to enjoy. Everything's fun. There's a loving smile. People know you and they feel better. That feeling of the 3 is there. But then there's these other numbers. April is going to show up with structure, stability, practical. I got to get to work. No time for fun. And it wants to just work really, really freaking hard. Then at 27, the value of entrepreneur rises. Now I want to do business. I don't want to work so hard. But I can't help that because I've been working so hard my whole life that I don't know anything different. And the 8 says, but I want to be in charge. I want to be in control. I want to be my own boss. Now we have this pull between 2 parts of you. Because remember, the 3 was like, nothing to see here, jazz hands, let's just have some fun. And the 8's just like, oh God, not again. Can we just take ourselves seriously for a minute? And this is where the challenge comes between princess and wizard. And this isn't really helping us.
Ooh, wizard, I like that.
It goes even further to think now that this isn't for a while, but at 55 years old, the grandmother giant level of heart takes over and the global service. We look at your name and we're born with a 911 name. For those of you who are not in North America, that's kind of a big deal for us. We kind of look at that letter and that number and we're like, am I going to be okay? And you know, you got out of it, but when you took on like Jamie Lynn Blunt's a superhero. This woman's like, no matter what you need, she can be there for you. Like whatever, whenever, wherever, you are there. And at the expense of yourself, you carry the world on your shoulders. A giant heart squished underneath your poor ego. And it's gonna show up, but it's gonna be like super tired and needs to get away from people. And like, I just want to be by myself, and I love people, but I hate people. And that feeling wants to just it's not helping us. And I can imagine how much frustration this would be if you guys see her, or if you see me see her for the first time. I'm going to give her a big hug. I'm going to be like, I got you, girl. Because I'm going to want to take some of that energy that you've been taking from everybody, because I know what to do with it. I got my Reiki level 2. No big deal. But the reality is that I want to make sure that I can process some of that energy for you, because you're taking on everybody's energy as if it's your role to save everyone. Like, great, Spider-Man's gotten bit and he got superpowers. He also gets evicted like more than once. Like, he can't make his own rent. He gets broke. His girlfriend breaks up with him. Like, he can't figure out his own life because he's out there saving everyone else's. Thank God you changed it. But what happened when you changed it? You went into like super hardworking, don't complain, people need me. And this is like not standing up for the self in a really dramatic form that's going to piss the shit out of you. Okay, it's going to make you angry. Like, this is not working. And so what we're looking at is the name Jamie Blacklock. Okay, so I would be adding something in here that would move you around at least a little bit. We could go into the vibration of back into leadership, Jamie O. Blacklock. Sound a little Irish, but that feeling is to think that we're taking this vibe that says, look, I'm independent, I am a leader, I do have passion, I don't need to worry about the structure anymore, I'm quitting my job, and let's go and actually build this business, and let's get this.
I already did.
You already did?
Yeah, I mean, I still have like a month and a half left, but I've officially quit.
Congratulations. Man, what a wonderful feeling.
Yeah.
I would like to think that a name like this won't last you forever, just like it didn't last Lori forever. But the feeling is that in case you want, you got to feel it. Okay, you got to feel it. And that feeling has got to come for you to think, do I like this one? You're not here to satisfy anyone except for you and your own inner child. This one would be a little bit of a change. And it would be nice to see that in light of you ending formal employment. To take a number that has no 4 in it would be good. Conversely, the F or the X, Jamie F. Blacklock, Jamie X. Blacklock, would show up with, look, I don't have a job anymore. I would like to have some sort of structure, stability, or something that's going to keep me from going off into Pluto. This vibration says, look, I'm going to take care of you. I'm going to keep my rules in order. I will work with you. Let's build this together, something that can last. This is why I was looking at Peace Rec Clothing with an X, because she's like, I want to give this to my kids. I want to work something that you need to do in order to make my kids have this. I'm like, well, that's the one you need. This is the one that's going to build the long-term level of business. But most, like, importantly, it brings in the self-love. Now, this doesn't get shown in this chart because we're not looking at Lynn, but this is almost like a spiritual open door that's like, who's leaving the fridge open? Like, why can't we just close the fridge on this? Like, I'm spoiling. And this is that name inside of there that's not getting a chance to speak up for itself. Like, self-love and self-care, guys, is so freaking important. Like, we dismiss this so easily, but like, I deal with it inside of my middle name. Francisco is like super quiet. There's no heart there. It's all spirit. But with a name like Lynn, it's like super accommodating to a spiritual level. That's like you're taking care of everyone else except for yourself. And when I see Lynn, I'm like, it's got no vowel in it. So it's got this big 0 in front of it that can almost make you feel like you're supposed to be doing something super freaking spiritual. And we look at a really big, powerful number that says cosmic angel. It's just a bit difficult to hold on to. The 3, and I'm so sorry, I should be doing this privately. The 3 is going to be like, it's all good, no worries. But underneath the smile is like, oh, don't make me cry. Don't bring out the tears. I'm going to smile through this. And I love the fact that you give everyone the best part of you. You should be treating yourself the same way. And this is where we get a chance to see that, well, Jamie Blacklock's what she's using. And it's got a fight on the inside. So underneath keeping everyone else happy it's this value of like, I'm not good enough. I didn't do this. What the hell's wrong with me? I'm too big, too small, too this, too that, too something, too not. And it's that never-ending spiral of what's happening inside. Luckily, we would go to change it. You could go Jamie Lynn O, would then take you more into the like disconnect you a little bit of that vibe. Would want to move you into a bit more of like I just got to keep myself by myself. But then I don't see those numbers in your chart. It seems to be much more social. Let's get things done. So I'm not sure if that would probably be the best way to look at this. We could also look at Jamie Lynn with a letter instead of Jamie Blacklock. What are you thinking? How do you feel about all this?
I have no idea.
Okay. It is all good. It is all good. I would be suggesting if it doesn't vibe and you're like, I really don't like the sound of that, don't be afraid to say it. Okay. So Jamie Lynn B, done. Done. That's the one, because that's authentic. And you're like, well, I can't really argue with that because that's kind of who I am. Either Jamie B. Lynn or Jamie Lynn B. If you can do that, this says balance this back to absolutely. I gave this number to my son. He was born 5 months ago. You guys have followed me on social media. You know he's super cute, like his daddy. But the reality is that I needed to give him the perfect name. Otherwise, I was going to be like, I've ruined his life. So when I see a name like this, let's say Jamie B. Lynn, this thing balances you out. It absolutely speaks to the power of you. It's super authentic. Nobody's going to say anything. They're going to be like, all right, I get it. Whatever. It's no big deal. It's Facebook. Everybody does something weird on there. And they're going to feel you and you're going to grow into the power version that you need to be. Because right now you work too hard and you got a lot of good ideas, but you don't know what to do. Because the 3's like, I don't know if this is the right answer or not. And so that feeling
life, I never know. I'm terrible at decisions.
It's okay. I'm making this decision for you, and it's because you don't really need to decide. This is actually your name. So you will take this thing with you forward. Maybe one day, I'm not sure, if you want to talk about a legal conversation at some point. But if you're like, dude, I don't know, just help me, I would be the most comfortable and confident giving you a power name if you wanted to take F or X to start and then move into your higher power, or just be like, screw it, I'm ready to do this. I quit my job for a reason. I don't want to bring it with me. Let's step into queen mode. We're going to, let's just for the sake of your like indecision, what we'll do is we're going to take one like this for your business and we're going to keep it like this. And then we're going to take the other one and we're going to do Jamie X Blacklock here. And then that way you show up like this. How does this feel?
Jamie, okay. So Jamie X Blacklock as my Facebook. So that would be like my personal Facebook page.
Yeah.
And then Jamie B. Lynn as my business page.
See, when you say that, I'm like, I really want you to take this for your personal page.
Yeah, take us both.
Donna's giving me the thumbs up. You got the Donna stamp of approval, guys. You listen to that.
I have to tell you, it's Donna.
Donna. Sorry, Donna. Thank you. So I was just going to make sure that T wasn't in there so we didn't accidentally call her Donut. So we're going to make sure, okay, because Donut does not have a choice of a T, so we're good. We're cool. Okay. And I'll be fair. Anyone who sees, let's bring it down, guys. It's all good. I know I'm really funny. I get it. Oh my God. I have to deal with me all day. My poor wife, she's like, can you just be serious for a moment? I'm like, no, I really can't. Anyway. Okay, so, but if you're seeing the 696, the 966, this should feel good. Like you should instantly get this like, ding, like this feeling inside of you that clicks. It has that effect, unless that's really not your name. If you don't get that, then it's not the one you should be taking. But I'd like to think that this is a remix on your authentic vibe. And 3 as a life path says princess. 696 says queen. So there is a growing curve inside of you. And underneath the 3, underneath that sweet personality and the loving, caring, like, I don't know, vibration, like the sweet innocence. And then the hard work of the 4, we see the 2 biggest numbers of the chart, business entrepreneur, global vision. like it's frustrating. This is a frustration because you know that there's a bigger power inside of you. And it's going to push you to the point you're like, I'm going to quit my job. And you're like, oh God, did I do the right thing? And then suddenly this track plays in our mind of like, do I doubt myself? I'm doubting myself. I shouldn't doubt myself. Having a pocket full of money, what would that say? And, and then like we're trying to figure all of this stuff out. We're going so hard on ourselves. This is like while you're like, like fiddling around with stuff, your new name is like, I'm just going to back away from it and go succeed. And this is where Jamie B. Lynn really takes it forward. So I'm glad we come to it. Questions, comments, concerns, revelations, anything you need to say?
I'm just a little stunned at the moment.
Cool. That's it. That's not an uncommon response. It's actually not an uncommon response. I'm like, so many questions, and people are like, huh? What year is it? So if you're feeling, and it may come to you like as soon as the recording ends, and then you're like, all right, now you can ask your questions. You're like, screw you, brain. Just messing.
Yes, I'm not good at speaking like in the moment. I am much better at writing when I can like process the thoughts and get it on paper. But in the moment, I never say what I want to say. I never, I don't speak up a lot.
Yikes.
In like, I don't know, like just in group things in general, I guess. Like, or if I'm feeling stuff that I want to say, I just, nope. I don't, so I always like to write things because I can't get the words out. I can't process the brain stuff.
Stop. Don't do it. Don't, stop. Okay, wait a second. I'm gonna like, I like to do coaching in a positive and then a constructive. So in the positive side of this, writing is your power zone. Okay. Like you can put your thoughts down, it's safe. You can communicate the way you need to. But then when it comes to verbally, you're like painting yourself in a box of I can't, I just don't, I don't know what to say. And I'm like, I listen to Happy Pocket Full of Money while I go to sleep. So it's like subconsciously like eating my soul. And I'm like, don't do that. Please don't do that to yourself. Please don't do that. Because it makes me feel like this is where that Jamie Lynn Blunt vibration is like the only ways to go. Like I've got to make these declarations. And then you sounded so powerful when you said, I don't know what to say. I'm like, it sounded like you just knew what to say. Like you said exactly what you wanted to say there. And it came out powerfully. Like you just contradicted yourself and then also nailed yourself back in the coffin. So I don't know how to reframe that. Because that would be like NLP stuff where you're thinking, okay, because if it was me, I'd be like, all right.
I have an NLP book here.
And great. Okay, so maybe like hit yourself in the head with it. I don't know. Or cut it and sprinkle it into your salad. I don't know. But, the feeling is that, okay, so the neuro-linguistic triggers that are happening inside of here, to acknowledge yourself, because there's a part of you that feels blocked and you have to pay attention to it. Mm-hmm. What you resist persists, right? Mm-hmm. So you have to think there, okay, I'm feeling blocked. I feel like I can't do this. I can't say what I want to say. And I'm accepting that. I'm accepting the fact that I'm blocked. I'm giving it power right now so that it's not going to hold power over me. I'm deflating it by acknowledging it. This was a time in my life. And then I would say to try to move away from it would be like, there have been times I am used to not saying what I like. I have always in the past done this, and start to speak about the blocks that you go through, speak about them in past tense, and to be like, there are times when I don't know what to say, or there have been times when I've been really super blocked. And these small little nuances start to creep your mind back into the right direction. But this is something Jamie B. Lynn would say, because now she's going to think, how do I use what I've got? How do I build this? What would love do? How do I serve? And this is the vibration we want to get back into. Because that 4 and that 8 are like, they're like the clinical warriors. And they're like, well, based on the facts, I have been blocked this, and this many times. So I don't know what you're talking about. Whereas the 8's kind of like, I want to get magnetic with this. And I want to absolutely move into the solution. So when you say I can't, or I don't, or I'm not, it does block us down. But it's so super valuable when you bring stuff like that up. Because a lot of us do this and we don't even, we're out here looking for validation. We're not trying to, to belittle ourselves. It's the last thing we want to do. We just want to make our feelings and our places known. I'm like the guy who's going to be the master of doing this for you, because I want you guys to feel empowered in who you actually are, and not like this, oh, you got to get better, or no, you know, like think happy thoughts. It's like, no, let's have a shitty time. Let's get really sad, and let's let that be, so that we can go there in a safe and sacred space. That's why I get a little nervous doing this in front of people when we're doing this in groups, because I know we're just, you know, putting your shit out there for everyone. And just in case anyone has a really big issue with me uploading this to my content, to my drive, you let me know so I don't share this publicly, because I don't want anyone to be like, it's my laundry list. Like, don't put that out there. So if you do, let me know, and I won't post it. So far, out of the 400 or something people that have done this so far, not one group person has said not to. So I'd like to keep my streak going. But if you do feel a bit self-conscious about it, it just won't show up on my YouTube. You just let me know. But Jamie B. Lynn, we're good. We are good with this. If you don't feel it after a little while, we'll come back to it. Just so you know what else is out there. It would be Jamie B. Lynn, Jamie K. Lynn, Jamie T. Lynn, or Jamie D. M. or V. Lynn. Okay, so you know we can play with this for a little bit. You could actually take a different letter if one of them zapped you a little bit more. But if you were like, dude, I don't know, this is all so super over my head, I would just like to remind you, you paid me, you trust me, you're here, you like me, you're laughing at my jokes, you get what I'm saying. All of this stuff is really happening to think, you know what, I'm going to trust this guy. And I look at this looking like God's going to judge me. I'm going to be at the pearly white gates one day, and they're going to be like, yo, why'd you give Jamie that name, bro? Forget you. And so I got to pay for that. I got to make sure that I'm being judged on a higher level. So you can trust me with that, okay? At least you got your entertainment's value worth. Let's put it that way.
Absolutely.
Cool. This is a lot of fun, guys. I'm having so much fun. I don't want this to end. After Donut, we're going to go back to the topic and do it all over. Just kidding. I got to go. All right, Donut, let's do it. Now, this is going to be fun, guys. We saved the best for last. I hate to say it to the rest of you guys. Look at this. 4, 5, 9, 3, 8. The life path 8 emerges. This is a smart cookie, okay? Like, when we look at numbers, I'm just going to quickly do this because we didn't do this yet. 1 stands for leadership, independence, ego, a sense of self. Just because you don't see it in here, it could be because it's somewhere here, like inside of a different version of your name, okay? So there are a bunch of different places for your names to show up. But if you're looking at this, you're like, well, I got leadership, and it doesn't show up inside of here, actually, that's a bad example because everyone has the 1 somewhere in their name or their birthday, except for Lori. She had it, but now it's somewhere else. So 1 stands up for independence, leadership. I don't care what you say. I don't care what you think. I'm going to do what I got to do anyway. And like I have 2 sisters born in January, so I know what that looks like. This is a powerful woman. You don't tell her what to do, okay? And then we have the number 2. Which shows up as partner, right? With another. Let's do this together. I'm here with you. I'm not going to let you down. You can trust me. And I'm going to make a coach. I'm going to get my coaching done. Like Marilyn shows up with 1168. That's just a fancy way of saying 268. Like she's going to work, get her coaching. She wants to work with people. So this feeling shows up inside of there. 2 is a wonderful connection for communication. Then we have 3. Which is loving, artist, enjoyable, sweetheart, princess. I don't know what it's going over my head. I'm just happy to be here. And you make the world a better place. These are the pretty people, the ones who absolutely want to share their love with others. Lori's got one. My wife Sally's got one. This feeling of the 3 says, you guys are sweet. There's sweetheart vibe in here. This is where love starts to show up. This is the first number for love and communication in artistic form. So if you've got a 3 in there, or you've got a hidden talent that you're not using, it would be very good for your ego to go and draw something. Then we have the number 4, which is to stand for practical, logical, data-driven, analytical. You're not going to push any of that sweet shit on me, buddy, okay? I want the real deal here. And this is the 4 wants to take its stuff seriously. Poor Lori's got the 3 and the 4. Part of her is going to be super sweet. The other part's going to be like trying not to roll her eyes, and I got to get out of here, otherwise I'm going to throw up, because the 4 is going to be like, it's not that hard. And the 3 is like, how can I help you? I want to serve. But the 4 is just like, I'm screaming on the inside because I'm surrounded by idiots. And that 4 is going to be like logical overload, okay? This is how, and you guys work really hard for some reason. We start to look at wealth in this number. Then we have 5, a bit of that feisty fighter energy, okay? Like, let's go and travel. Let's go to a place where the sun doesn't set. Let's just go and do something. Like, let's keep going. Like, Marilyn's just like, I'm never stopping. The sun says I don't stop. And this is going to be like solar-powered energy what we see inside of this 5. But these are feisty people. They're absolutely going to tell you what's on their mind. But when you see it in the wrong spot, like Donna, now I'm afraid of saying your last name wrong, Atavaria. But the feeling inside of you shows up as a fight. In this case, it's going to go on the inside. My name says this. I have a -5 in my name where it's not serving me. I want to make sure I take care of that before I get married, because I don't want to have this fighter fighting myself, damaging self-damage on the inside. We'll talk about that when we get there. But the 5 can also be really good for fighting for others. So if in case someone else is in trouble, you'll definitely see Donna be like, oh, you don't do that to my friends. That 5 is going to show up. She's born in May. Like, come on. She's gonna have a really strong value in there. Then we see 6, balance between love and money. This is one of the power zones. We like this number. It doesn't even fit in one thing. Like, it extends over. We have a loving vibration of, I work for my family. I do things for others. I care for other people, but I don't care for myself the way that I should. A lot of people do this to themselves, where their middle name has a -6 in it somewhere, or no 6, and the love is just non-existent, and a -6, I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy, and we have this negative vibration that shows up there if it's not in balance. When it is in balance, we see longevity, we see queen, we see master, we see power. We like that. Then we see the 7, quiet, intuitive, reflective. Not many people, no one has this in their birthday. This is the only thing that's really bugging this is in poor Francesca's first name, because I looked at her name when I was writing this, because I'm doing the letters, right? I'm writing Francesca, and I'm like, 797. She knows everything, but she can't say anything. What she struggles for the right words, and that feeling of the 7 is going to attack us there. And then we see Francesca Rose Claxton. It was taken from you pretty early, so you didn't get a chance to run with it for very long. But that can be trapped in its head, and it can be haunted by the vision. I'm like, I know what's happening, but I can't actually express it. So the 7 has got a really powerful level of insight. We look at my 9 for a second. 5, traveler, partner, spiritual. Anyone want to go on a spiritual journey with me for a minute here? Hello, welcome to my Go Lives. I'm going to be here for an hour. I'm not going to stop talking, and I do this for a living. This is it. This is what we do. I go into spiritual sides, and I suddenly have everything to say. That feeling is crazy, okay? And that the 7, it's like I see stuff, I know stuff, I can feel stuff. I've got crystals here. I don't know if you guys can see that. I just put my grid together. I got a really powerful, energetic little. Can I show it? I just want to show it. I want to see if people can see. You can't really see it from here, but I'll take a picture of it and show it to you later. But it's got a bunch of crystals on it. It's no big deal. And I basically have gems everywhere because I want to be in that higher vibration energy. The 7 will like that kind of stuff. Meditation, no problem. Go and for any of the 7s in there that are in your chart that are like, I need to quiet down, or I need to meditate, or I need to clear my head. If you go to YouTube and let's go here and let's do this, and you YouTube MHZ, okay? I did it wrong. Let's do that again. And let's go MHZ. So I'm not going to know which one you need, okay? There are people ask me for my advice on which one you should use. I love 639s, 693s, 963s. These are divine love connections, okay? But there are cool different things you can use for different chakras. Some of them for focus, intelligence, cognizance, deepest healing, so super nuts. If you can get headphones on these, Francesca, you're running the game. If you can do it with surround sound, you're running the game. This is power. If you can't, then hey, I get it, right? But you can listen to it whenever you can. But headphones all the time, oh man, and you feel that, it just almost starts to realign your spine when you do it. And if you'll notice, I put one in there an hour before. I'm not sure if anybody got a chance to hear it, at least for a second. But I wanted to set a primer into you to actually be like, oh shit, what's he clicking on? What's he sending us? What is this? And that feeling wants to absolutely suggest that there's a deeper level of vibration that you can go into. Also, something that I'm not going to get into in this, but biorhythms. There's apps out there that are free to study your biorhythms, and they're really, really cool. Okay, so just more on the vibration frequency level stuff. 7, intuitive, philosophical, deep, spiritual, okay, psychic. Like, you get Francesca. Oh, like I don't mean this in a negative sense, because you're a very strong and powerful woman that needs to be acknowledged. But were we able to put your ego to sleep, that available energy, and you know what I'm talking about, it goes into insight. You can do stuff. You can feel things. You're no longer challenged by yourself. It's like we almost have to shut a few of the lights off and get everybody into one room in order to be able to access that knowledge. Because otherwise, she's doing 100 different things at once, and you're wondering, how the hell do you have this? And how the hell can you do this? And it's because, well, there's a lot of spiritual energy in there, and that's a wonderful feeling to have. So for me, I'm like, I want to work with this woman for sure, absolutely, because I love going deep. I love learning about the different roads you took in life, the different ways that your names change. How did this affect you? How did this one beef you up? How did this one mess you up? All this stuff. Oh my God, this makes you want to be a numerologist. I teach this stuff. So in case you guys are like sincerely interested in taking my 4-day course, quick little plug for my products. I will add you to a group. It is quite pricey. I think right now it's $222, and the price will go down if I get more people in. And I will do payment plans for you, but there's no date set. So keep that in mind if in case that's something you want to. I basically teach people, where were we? Did I see this? I teach people how to read the entire language. Like, this is like a 4-day course on all of the cool bits that happen inside of numerology. Oh, these are my scratch notes when I did it for a smaller group, and we were talking about this. But basically, we look at this for 4 days, and then you have dreams about this stuff. It's so super freaking awesome and so super cool. I would absolutely recommend it for anyone who's, anyone. So we got the 7 kind of nailed in, okay? Then we come to the 8, and this is a really roundabout way of getting here. I know we're at the 2-hour mark now, so I figure this might take another 15, 20, half an hour or something like that. But the 8 is the magnetism of wealth. This is the one that wants money to work for you. This is the one that doesn't want to be told what to do. This is the one that wants to be in charge. This is a troublemaker when we're a little kid, okay? Like, as much loving and fun as you want to be, that 8 is going to be like, look, I'm a boss. And your mom's like, you're 6. You're going to listen to what I say. And you're like, no, I'm not. I'm going to run away from home. I don't care about this. I don't need to do this shit. I'm out of here. And it's going to have a very troubled upbringing. And what we would hope is that some of your stuff is intact when you get to an adult. Because by the time you're an adult, all of your core beliefs are already set, and that happens when you're young. And if you had really powerful numbers when you're young, you know where I'm going with this. You gotta get scratched, as your way in. But Jamie said must have an 8. Oh my God, her birthday's July 8. Who is that? Your daughter? My daughter must have an 8. Yes. See, the problem is July. She's gonna be quiet, and then the 8 is gonna be I hear you. I don't need to say anything. And I'm just going to be in charge. You're going to be like, tell me. She's going to be like, I don't need to. And my daughter does this to me all the time. Okay, so I get it. I understand. And it's super frustrating. You're like, please don't squash my child's light. Please don't squash my child's light. And you want to try to explain to her I don't know how old she is, but yeah, it's tough. It's not easy. Okay, I get it. We're all going through this. But if you want tips on parenting, knowing your numerology for your child is a very, very big deal for a parent. I'm a parent. I absolutely saved my life, okay? You remember when your parent, when we were kids, I'm not sure if you've ever been there, but when we were kids, my parents would be like, why did you come with an instruction manual? Kids don't come with an instruction manual. And there was always this saying that kids don't come with an instruction manual. I'm like, actually, yes. Here it is. Okay, it's right here. And more on that later, because I got cool gifts for you guys, okay? So then we have the 9, shows up as master love. This is global perspective. If we had ego at the 1, we have universe at the 9. So if you're seeing lines in your chart, like Francesca's in a 9/9, that's energetically overwhelming and and spiritually, cosmically overwhelming. Like it's going to be hard to ground. Like, I'm so thankful that you listen to those every day. I hate to pick with you here, but this is like, oh my God, like this is such a blessing to think that if you're going to be high up there, you're vibing high by programming your brain to be able to do that. It's going to keep you from going over the edge. But the 9s going over the edge seems to be a big thing, a big deal. Emotional pain, overload of emotion. And we're looking at names that say 4, 5, 9, guys. That's not helping. It's like I have this never-ending thing that happens to me in that stage, and I don't like it. So, and then look at this. Athavariya tribe is 999. Like, we're going to see this as like very dramatically severe of a challenge. This is the last name, okay? And then we have mastery numbers. 11 is angel. 22 shows up if you're born in 1984. Shows up as master builder. So you guys want to do big things. Sometimes your names show up with, if it's a 4, it could probably also be a 22 because that's how many letters are adding it up. Could be 31, could be 49, whatever it is. But the reality is that 4 could also show up as 22. When we're adding things up, the 22 is a master builder. So circling back in, Donna, you're up. This life path is a business entrepreneur up front. So I'll do is I'm just going to make sure I unmute you. Can I unmute you? Yeah. No, we're good. Oh. Yeah, you're good.
Yeah, okay.
How you feeling? Information overload, hey?
I'm feeling like Marilyn. Like, I want to do this. This is amazing. I want to know more.
It's pretty crazy. This will change absolutely everything. Like, I promise you guys, your life no longer becomes the same. You're out there writing things on paper and like trying to figure out, oh, I wonder what his name is. And like, you're talking to your clients and you're like, just give me a second. And you quickly just run their vibe and you're like, oh, I'm not going to push this person because this person's going to take forever to make a decision. So I'm just going to say, take your time. And they're going to be like, what? You're not going to try to pressure close me? And you're like, no, you know, these things take time. And if you speak their language, they're going to be like, I like you. You know, you're you know, and to just everywhere, this information is super powerful. So, of course, the life path 8 is going to be like, I need to know all of this. Tell me everything. And so the 8, we're liking this. Any questions so far? Any kind of cool revelations or anything that's been happening in your life or anything that you wanted to bring to the table?
Yeah, it's been a really wild 6 months. So I joined Gaz 6 months ago, and you know, my husband quit his job as a software engineer. We moved to Bali. Just, I feel like I've been, I don't know, tapped into this whole new world that I didn't even know existed. And so for the last 6 months, learning so much about, you know, alternative energy healings and online entrepreneurship and connecting with my partner in different ways. It's been this massive growth for me over these last 6 months. And now it's winding down and we're heading back to the States. Which is really super exciting. Never in a million years would I think that I'd be excited to go back to the United States, but I am.
You know Trump's president right now.
But yeah, we have some really exciting opportunities happening there. And again, with business and I run events and campgrounds all summer on our property in Oregon, and getting to turn that into something that I've been dreaming of and thinking about for all of these years. And finally, we're going to make it happen. So I'm super excited.
Cool. I love it. That's absolutely epic. And I'm looking at your name. I'm like, wait a second. This is going to be kind of cool to put together because you have a life path 8. Okay. So there's a magnetism of wealth. Then there's a feisty woman, the 5, the traveler, the one that can't stay in one country for too long. Then we have the 1 that says independent leader. We're not going to get a job. Okay. Like, it's not going to work. Like if you haven't figured it out by now, will create freedom. You won't even create jobs. You'll just help empower people to where they need to go. And this could get caught fighting their fights for them. And then there's a loving sense of relationship as well that says, I've done it. I'm just going to work one-on-one. This makes for a very powerful coach. But I'm impressed. I like your life path. I like the way that it shows up. And then we look at Adona Jolie Francis. Now, this is the name you were born with. It wants to be a leader. It wants to be independent, but it can't help but partner up and almost like give up what's important to you for someone else. And that's like a soft spot that I don't want to touch too hard because you're in a 1 right now and you don't have that name anymore unless you still do. Is Athavariya your last name?
It is, but I haven't legally changed it. I I took it initially because my husband's from India. We were living in Canada. I have an American passport. And I was like, well, I should just take this last name because when we're traveling, it's going to be way easier if my kids and I have the last name. If they're on Canadian passports, I'm on an American passport, people are going to look at us all crazy, right? So I was like, I'll just take this name. So that's what I changed my Facebook name to and stuff, but it's nothing legal at this point.
I would suggest a legal move for you. This is frustrating. To end at a 2, when you have a life path 8, it's like you step into a gym and you got all of this like basketball stuff you could be playing, and then they give you a small little ping pong ball and you can't even like, it's not, the name is only going so hard. And then we have Dona Atavaria, which will struggle at the voice. This fights itself. I have this. This turned into a really awkward relationship with myself that nobody else knew. So I'm not going to just rip out all your stuff in front of everyone. But in the middle of all of this quietness, there's a frustration. There's a part there that beats itself up. And that inner 5 is almost like, you better not tell anyone. You're like, I'm not going to say anything. And you're bullying yourself almost. Because that 8 can be very domineering. And that 7 is like, shh, we're not going to say anything. And that 5 is like, let's keep that fight going. So the fact that you're about to move, again, makes me feel like, okay, she's finding a way to exhaust her inner warrior goddess. That feeling is like, okay, like I will be able to move around. There's a lot of passion in here. But what I would absolutely be recommending, like right off the bat immediately, would be taking the letter J. And like, at least that way it's super authentic. And, you know, you're dealing with this fighter and you're putting it into a vibration of balance and business. Now your name actually matches your birthday and you actually have a value that's authentic. Unless you're thinking about one of these other ones, like let's say this was, we're looking at the red names right now. This would be the best one without doing anything else. But if you want, we could look at Dona Francis. I'm not sure if that's on the table or if you're wanting to move away from that like eventually.
No, I think it makes sense to move to the Atwaria.
Is that how you say it?
Yeah, Atwaria.
Atwaria.
Atwaria, yeah.
Atwaria. So it's not Athavaria.
No.
Dona Atwaria. Okay, so I got it. And can I just do that? But it is spelt that way.
Yes, it is.
So what about Jolie? Don't do that. Do not do that. Do not do that. Do not do Dona Jolie Atavar. How do I say it again?
Atwaria.
Atwaria. Wow, that's a beautiful name. So okay, so Dona Jolie Atwaria, we're not going to do that because you're not an employee, and that's like the employee of the year vibration, and it doesn't even show up. I don't use it because it would be like the worst thing ever. This would be a yellow name that's like works way too hard. What if you want to keep Jolie? I would be putting on. That would be tough. Are you?
I'm not.
Do you like that middle name, or what are we looking at?
I'm not committed to anything, right? I'm happy to. Things are fluid. I'm happy to.
Okay.
To let it go.
So if you were to take the letter J, this would put you into a really powerful balance right in here, and this would solve a lot of the issue. Or not even the issue. It would complement a lot of the power that you have, and then remove a lot of the frustration that's included in sacrifice of the self. This is kind of like the double 9, the double 1 here. The double 1 here just goes and wants to help other people instead of doing what's right for itself. And then you'll beat yourself up later for it, being like, I should have done for myself. I know I should. And then we look at that as a vibe there. So if you're cool with Dona J Ataria, then we're okay.
Okay.
Okay, cool. And then Ataria Tribe. This one looks cool with an X in it. It also looks cool with a Z in it, depending on your 2 highest vibration points. You could also take the O, but using this as it is right now will make it very difficult for you to land on any level of business. This is a non-human number, and it's almost like invisible. So it wouldn't show up for business. It would show up for changing the universe. And as a human being, that's probably a little bit past our pay grade.
Fair enough.
Yeah, and when I see this in names, I'm like, ouch, this must hurt a lot. This is very emotionally draining. But luckily, you're using it as a business name, which just means that your business is probably not where it wants to be with that word.
Well, and interestingly, so when I started out 6 months ago with business, I randomly came up with this name, Atwaria Tribe. So I used that for my Facebook page, and use that as my my branding. But I watched a training a few weeks ago, and it was like, don't use a business name in this business. Just use your your regular name for your Facebook page, right? So then I switched it, and now my Facebook business page is actually Donna J. Atwaria. So I'm thinking I maybe just need to go with that.
Yeah, we're not going to change that from there. We're going to literally let you keep that. It's got long-term value and vibe in it, so this is going to give you a sense of power, and it will give you a sense of moving forward.
Okay, perfect.
Cool. I like it. All right, guys. Well, we've got everybody lined up, and I wanted to give you guys some goodies. I wanted to make sure you guys knew that I was here for you and to absolutely do things for you guys. If you guys are probably going to want to do some stuff with me and work with me long-term, whether it's we're either doing a 15-minute, 30-minute, 60-minute, 90-minute, or like a 4-day, okay? And so basically what we've got here is I usually charge $88 for these and $156 for these. In the $268, what we do is I'm going to take that down to $157 and take the $111 off. And then for the $333, I'm going to do the same thing. And so if you guys book in 90 minutes, then we'll be able to do that for the price of less than an hour, and then a 60-minute for the price of 30 minutes. Basically, it's like a half off, okay? So I wanted to give that to you because you guys have invested in me, and I didn't want to just make you feel like, oh, God, now I got to buy something else. So for the price of a full session, you got in here for free kind of thing. And I will also invite you back here for free as well. You're all going to get written reports. So written reports are freaking epic, amazing. You need to be looking at yours, Marilyn and Lori, if you're not. But this is like your instruction manual. You're going to get one. If you guys do me a super solid and you guys send me a video testimonial, you're going to get another one. So I'm going to give you another written report, additional report. And this is going to be enough for, a child or a friend or your husband or your partner in business, spouse, absolutely. If you guys go live, this is another one. You go live and you're like, oh my God, Bobby blew my mind. It was hilarious. You're going to tag my site and you're going to tag me in it as well. You're going to be able to do this. If people say your name and they book in, they're going to get a free report. I'm giving you guys an extra bonus. I sell these for $55 and they're worth like $500. So you're going to be able to be like, yo, Bobby gave me this really cool deal. He wants to promote his services. If you book in and you let them know that I sent you, he's going to give you double the report, and you're going to be able to share that and pay it forward. I will also give you an additional report. So you're going to get another additional report there, okay? So we'll go, what is this? I'm not trying to do that right now. I'm trying to do this. Additional report again. So Francesca's like, I got more than one kid. What am I supposed to do? So give me, oh, you only have the one? Okay, good. Well, maybe you're your spouse as well. So, there's other people in your chart, but in this case, it's like, I'm going to give you an extra kid and spouse. You're going to give me a video testimonial, and she's going to go live. You guys are also going to be welcomed to my private mastermind. Okay, so the private mastermind, if you want in, I will be so grateful for you. This is where I keep a hold of you guys. So I get a chance to see your movements. I get a chance to see your growth. I get a chance to see you go into the next stage of your life. And then when I do a Zoom, and I do an alumni, or I do like a share your tale in 3, 6, 9, 12 months, you could be like, man, a year ago I was here and now I've made so much money, or my business is flying. I just feel good. I'm ready to change my last name. This is what people say about us after a year. This is your life. This isn't a small little, well, let's see and try. If you feel like we got the wrong number, then we need to go back into this, okay? If you don't need an additional report and you do one of these, I will also offer you an extra 15 minutes. Oh man, I really messed this up. An extra 15, I can't really do this. Extra 15 minutes. If you book in one of these sessions, I will give you an extra top-up bonus in case you don't want an extra report and you're like, well, can I just spend more time with you? Or can I gift this to someone else? You have to book a session to get this, okay? And then if you're with me on the 4-day, instead of the $222, because you guys have been so super awesome, I'm just going to do $19.99, okay? So in case you guys want to get in with me, I don't have a price yet for this or a date set, and everyone else is going to be paying $222. So in case you're like, don't tell anyone, just be like, between me and you, I chopped off an extra $222 for you, and you know we're going to be in there. I'm looking to put about 15 to 20 people in this, so I don't want to. And right now I'm at about 5 people, so I'm not expecting this to happen too super fast, unless of course the universe has different plans. But I had planned on doing it in March. I did the last one in December, and I did 2 last year. So if I can do 2 this year, I'm fine. But I'd like to do once a season. And so far, I missed winter 20. Like I guess I could still do it in the winter of 2019, but I really want to get one done before June 23rd. So it would be nice to, or June 22nd, whenever summer starts. But the feeling is that I want to do 1 per season. And if you guys want in on it, you let me know. You're like, dude, I need to know this. Absolutely. 90 minutes is great for a power couple in case you want to talk about your partner, okay? Or if you want to do it for family, I would absolutely suggest that. But doing it for your kids, getting your kids' sessions done, making sure you know what they're going through would be so super powerful. For businesses, guess what's going to happen to each of you? You're all going to have powerful levels of business, okay? Like you're going to crush it. Next thing you know, a year from now, you've got 15, 25, 40 people in your business. Let's put them in this. Let's do this for them. Let's give them these discounts. Let's give them this value. Let's line up their names. With you having your business lined up and suddenly all of your people are all lined up, you guys are going to walk around with SWAT team ninjas looking like a Bruno Mars dance video. Everybody looking all hot, and they're all in line, and everybody's walking their business as opposed to being drunken pirates. And now you stole my star, you stole my sale. And this feeling is like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to have to fight with my team. I want everyone to working in cohesion. So super powerful. Absolutely. I appreciate you guys. Francesca, say I'm down for a go live. Absolutely psyched to move forward. And God, you know what? Honestly, it's okay to fall off. It's okay to take some time for yourself. It's okay. Sometimes these things happen. But this is what we do. We spend time building you guys up so that, it's not going to affect you this way for the rest of your life. And we can move forward with this. So speak my name. Like, take a picture and post this, like when I'm going to do the gallery view. Take a picture, post this, tell people, do the stories on Facebook, get out there and show with people what we do. I'm going to do that. I'm going to be telling people that we were here and that, let's do a little bit like this. Okay, cool. Hi. And this is my feeling of thinking that I'm letting people know that we show up for ourselves and that we show up for others. I am so freaking invested and so freaking committed to making sure that you guys get to where you need to go. If you can look after this and be like, okay, great, I got it. I got the name. Nothing's really happening. Like Lori's like, oh, I don't know. I don't want to say that things have gotten bad or worse, but this is life. It's not just one conversation to change your life. I would like to think that it's a series of positive movements forward that's really going to save us. But thank you guys so much for inviting me. You post these to YouTube. I will. I do. And so you guys will see if you guys ever have 2 hours and you want to see someone else's group group live that did it. This wasn't what they got. They got something different. This was a bit more unique because of the fact that we had a smaller group and people got a chance to speak more. But when you look at the group dynamic, just think, remember, you're looking into the future. This is going to be my team one day. I'm going to be able to give this to my people one day. And I don't mind posting the replay if you guys don't. It's this information needs to be shared. But it's your story that you're getting value on. It's your life you're moving forward. It's all of us holding each other, doing this like shaman hug around this virtual campfire, basically growing our souls and holding that energy for each other. So I appreciate you guys so much for inviting me into your lives. I hope you guys find so much value in this and that this serves you in your lives and everywhere you guys go. That all of you guys decide to work with me at some capacity in the future. I'm coming up with my app. I'm coming up with a tool to let you guys, figure out your own names. If you have a bunch of them, please don't message them all to me being like, so can you figure this out for me? Book a session and set my time aside because I take my time seriously. And other than that, I love you guys and I appreciate you guys so much. If there are any other questions or anybody wants to say anything before we go.
No, I just wanted to say thank you so much for everything. That's awesome. That was a great night.
Is everybody cool to become part of my mastermind? Do you guys all want to be in there?
Yes.
I would love to.
Absolutely. He was like, no, you guys can go. I'm out.
No, I'm like, yeah, bring it.
Sweet, bring it. All right, guys, I'm gonna run the recording here. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. Thank you guys so much. In the next 5 minutes, I'm gonna message you all individually with reports. And if you guys want to do me those go lives, those written videos or those recorded videos, you send them through Messenger. You can record them, upload them, whatever. And then you let me know the person you're going to do, their full name, their birthday, and the name they're using today in case they got a married name now, okay?
Okay.
Thank you, guys. All right, we'll talk to you guys soon. Take care. Bye.